but you can keep subbing for Prime for the ad-free experience for the patch notes and your bits and getting yourself that golden kappa, baby. Tight.
Have you prepared for judgment, monster?
Smite's had some really good trailers over the last couple of years.
My liege, be on your guard. We were souls. Hearken, for I will guide you. A new world is waiting.
Dope. Dope.
That was exciting.
Let's
right?
go. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Well, hello everybody.
Hey, is that Dandy?
Welcome to SWC.
Because it's the patch
day number 2.
notes.
Who's
Yeah, that
excited
makes
to be here?
sense. Yeah.
Me too. Me too. They let me up here. Can you believe that? My name is Titan Dandy. For those of you who have not watched the update notes, that's what I do. And they let me do it up here because they like making dreams come true. So I'm super excited to be kicking off this day 2. And I just got to do it once. I'm gonna do it one more time. That cool superpower that stage people have, which is asking obvious questions to get really obvious answers. So, are y'all ready for Smite Year 11 and Smite 2? I'm so ready! Okay, cool.
Cool.
That's good. That's what I was hoping y'all knew that because like we were all up late last night and you know I almost forgot to ask it. So super cool. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, Smite 2, huge announcement. Smite Year 11 also going to be huge, and Smite Year 11 has a lot of bridges between the two games, and we're excited to talk about not only those today, but all of the cool content that you can see in Smite Year 11. And you'll get a preview of tomorrow with the show match. So y'all looked at the schedule, y'all seen that's coming, right?
Yep. That's going to be dope.
Yeah, okay,
so tomorrow
good.
we have a Smite 2 show match to
There's a lot of stuff you're gonna be
showcase it,
looking
which is
for,
going to
and
be
we're
dope.
gonna kind of guide you through it.
I'll be here
today.
for that as well.
So, as always, I've introduced them 100 times through 100 different shows. This is definitely the coolest, though. We got Aggro and Lermy here with me.
What's up,
Right?
everybody?
Thank you. They deserve that.
Appreciate y'all. Super excited to get you a preview of Year 11 Conquest and Year 11 Joust and
And
Arena
beyond
and
it. So
all,
many
all the good
things.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. Just
All the
Year 11
stuff.
of Smite 1.
It's gonna be great.
I mean, how has it been working through 10 years of Smite to this point, you know? Like, y'all have really done so much for Smite in this insane year 10, all the seasons. Y'all excited for the future?
Always. I mean, this is what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
It's getting to put in months and months and months of work and then get to debut it for everyone. And hopefully everyone is just as excited as we are to get their hands on it and play
Yeah,
it.
dude. I remember when we first started, even planning for this, and the fact that we're here right now.
I know
and
very
talking
little
it,
about
it's
Season 11.
unbelievable.
I know very
Not to
little
out
other
myself,
than
but, like, I was on the side of the
news.
stage, like weeping during the keynote, the trailer for Smite 2.
Who doesn't
so it
launch
was,
until February.
It's just everything that's been worked on from so many talented people over just so much time. It's been a challenge, but we're here now, and we're excited to start sharing some stuff.
Yeah.
So how many people saw the keynote yesterday? Yeah? All right, that was really cool. There were some really cool people up there. So I'm going to start out talking about some stuff you might have seen there and going over it in a little more detail, starting with Divine Legacy. So Divine Legacy is a bit of a Smite 1, Smite 2, kind of a bridge we have going on. Essentially, it's a free thank you note for playing Smite for so many years. It's going to be a whole bunch of free rewards that we're giving to everybody who plays Smite throughout Year 11. It's going to be active the whole time because it's going to take you some time to earn all of the stuff. So first off, let's talk about what you're going to be getting from Divine Legacy. Smite 1, you're going to be able to choose your own unlimited Tier 4 skin and unlimited T5 skin by progressing through the event. So if there was ever a T4 or T5 that you missed out on, you're like, oh, I wanted that one. Like, hopefully you're going to get it in Year 11. Beyond that, though, we have a lot of cool Smite 2 stuff. And by cool Smite 2 stuff, I of course mean 11 skins. And that's a lot of skins, and they're all so good looking. There's some of the ones that we look through the data. You know how much we like to look through the data. And we were like, all right, people love these skins. They've gotten so much play. They've gotten so much attention. We're going to take these and bring them, give them the Smite 2 treatment. Bring them into this new
11
game.
skins are apparently being
we're
brought
excited
into Smite 2.
To show you what some of those look like. We can't go in game for Smite 2 yet. That'll be soon. We'll get there, soon in the future. But we got 11. So Cyber Geisha Izanami. Any Izanami fans?
Cool.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Okay. Hunter players. All right. Next up, we have Eliminator Loki. Look at that red.
All right.
All right. Too many Loki fans. Keep it down. Stop that. All right. Next up, Supernova Pele. Ooh, got the beach vibes. Digging it.
Okay.
Digging it. On to number 3, we got your boy, Menchaco Ymir.
Menchaco Ymir. He's a handsome boy.
So good. Moving forward, Kitsune Sage Anubis.
I actually like that skin a lot. I like that skin a lot.
Right? They just keep looking better. So let's check out Funky Groove's Bacchus, huh? Hey. He's back. How about Infernal Mace Shock? Got the armor, got the hand, like looking good. All right, this is one of my favorite. Boss Man Danzaburo. He's the boss.
Oh. That means Danza's going to be one of the gods then in Smite 2.
All right, how about,
Pretty early,
how about
so.
Batter Up Hercules. There's a classic.
If these skins are going to be in Smite 2, then these characters have to be there,
Huh? Yeah, that's spooky.
So.
That's spooky. And last but not least, Bunny Babe Nuwa. All right, we got some Nuwa fans. I mean, she's looking good. She's looking good. I get it.
Interesting.
So, this is just all of those skins you can unlock for free by working through this throughout year 11. So it's gonna be super cool, and we're excited to give you all of those just to have when Smite 2 hits. So you got some skins built up to kick it off with. So next up, we're talking gems. All right. So you heard about this yesterday in the keynote, the Legacy Gem system. So to go over that just with a little more detail, a little more slowly. When you move over to Smite 2, we wanted to give y'all stuff. It hurts, but you gotta say it, we couldn't move all the skins over. 250 years worth of work isn't something that we could accomplish, in 250 years, that's a long time. But we wanted to give you something, and so we're giving you every single gem you have ever spent in Smite back to you to spend in Smite 2 for up to 50% of.
And you can use
most
50% of
purchases.
them.
So that's just like a lifetime supply.
You get a 50% off coupon for as long as you have those legacy
We wanted to be able to give that to you, so look out for that. Make sure you're linking your accounts up. There'll be info on all that way in the future. So next up, let's talk about progress through the Divine Legacy event. It's a year-long event, right? So it's going to take you some time to finish.
50% off as long as you've got Legacy
day
gems.
one. If you've been playing for a long
That's
time,
the
though, you
gist.
might. I mean, Lermy, you've been in Smite. You've been hitting Smite for a long time. I've heard you tell me stories. So.
I mean, a long time, maybe not as much as Aggro over here, but certainly a lot.
A very thinly veiled old joke from you there, by the way. That's not how I wanted to start my day, too. Unbelievable.
Right. So, so you're going to have a lot of progress when we kick this off because you hit the grind. You are the God Skin Diamond Hunter. So
Yeah, it's a good time, right?
Yeah. I'm always following the tweet threads every time. So when you get in, if you've played Smite over the last 10 years, you're going to get a lot of this. You're going to get a lot of progress in it. But if you're a little new to Smite, or you're like, man, I want those rewards for Smite 2. I haven't played a lot of Smite 1 yet. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of chances for you to earn your way through this throughout year 11. It seems like a lot. When you're looking at it, it's going to be like, man, that's a lot. But trust me, you'll be able to get through it. We got all of year 11 and a lot of cool stuff to get through. So last thing I'm going to talk about
Well, we don't have all of year 11 because by my math, in about 6 months, I'm done. So you got like half of year 11 before we jump ship.
Pass. And the Legacy Pass is going to give you a couple of things. First of which is progress towards the event, so you can unlock some of those free things a little faster. If like I said, you need to speed it up. You're also going to get 2 additional skins that are cross-gen, and I'm going to use that word a lot today.
Cross-gen.
So, to re-explain it, cross-gen means Smite 1 and Smite 2. So you'll get it, you'll buy it in Smite 1, and when Smite 2 hits, if you hop over there, you're going to have it there waiting for you. So let's check out those 2 skins, starting with Batty Bat Jingwei. So we got the card art here, right?
Dope.
Got the goth vibes going.
Yeah, I mean, you know I like that. It's a really good look.
You like the goth vibes?
Yeah, I'm
No.
surprised.
Are we surprised?
It's a
Are we
shock.
shocked?
Yeah.
What?
I just love the design of this one. I think changing the bird wings to bat wings is just such a cute little twist, and
It is.
love the Halloween vibes. Just so cute, cute little get up.
Halloween doesn't matter what time of year. Halloween's a good season. Do y'all want to see it? The Smite 2 render of this? Yeah.
You do.
Okay. Okay. I guess they do. So let's show you the Smite 2 render then. Why not?
Nice.
It looks really dope.
Yeah. It looks so good. So that is the first of 2 skins.
She
you're
looks
gonna
like
be
an
getting.
actual factual
The second
child
one
there.
is
She actually
Untamed
looks like a kid.
Bologna.
Which is interesting.
This is one of my favorites. It's such a badass.
Not
look
like
for
a
Bologna.
miniature
It
adult,
really,
you know?
It really is.
And this art too, I mean, they just absolutely nailed it. She's got the fiercest gaze I think I've seen in a hot minute.
Yep.
That's true. And you know what's even cooler? How awesome it looks in Smite 2. Let's check that out. That's awesome looking. That's awesome looking. Bologna has like some of the coolest skins. All right, we're gonna move on from that. So if you want that, you're gonna get those skins, you're gonna get 1,000 gems, and you're gonna get a boost to Divine Legacy. If you feel like you need a little more time, you know, you're like, ah man, I haven't been able to grind this year. You're like, you know, I know how it is to be
Stupid,
busy.
sexy
So,
Bologna.
but again, Divine Legacy's free. That, if you want to do that, you're welcome to. But this is a free event. This is a thank you for all of y'all who have given us the opportunity to make it to year 10. I mean, I'm sitting here on stage living out a literal dream of mine because y'all have been here for years helping push Smite forward way beyond where anybody thought it would ever be, and now into Smite 2 and a crazy future that, I mean, even we have trouble like seeing the limits of. So thank y'all all so much for this, and give yourselves a round of applause for that, honestly.
Woo! Go me! Yeah, I love clapping for me!
Man, I love y'all. I love you.
No, you're
All right, you've heard
breathtaking.
me talk a lot, and that's how it always is. I'm going to start moving over towards the stuff that these two can talk about, get into some of the meat of this. So we're going to move right on. Again, we got the show match tomorrow, and I want to prep y'all so you'll know what you're looking at as we get over there. So we're kicking it off with relics, recipes, and shards. How about recipes first? We were cooking for a while, but where are recipes going in year 11?
Recipes are being removed. However,
Bye-bye. No more cooking.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
No more cooking.
We're not done cooking yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let
We're
us
not
cook,
in a
let us
recipe
cook,
anymore.
let us cook. All right,
Yeah.
so recipes are being removed. However, we understand that this system is something that you guys really enjoyed. So instead of recipes, we have altered a couple other systems to include the best parts of recipes.
Exactly. So, you know, the things like those quests that you can tailor to your exact type of gameplay and get a specific reward, well, now instead of needing to select a recipe and have it take up your last item slot and all that kind of stuff, we've got new things like passive shards. So instead of needing to activate an effect in order to get your increased movement speed or attack speed or cooldown reduction, anything like that, you can now get things like, I don't know, golden shard to help you clear the lane a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Don't have to press it, anything like that.
No buttons.
Still get rid of it at level 12 for your second relic, just like previous shards, and just trying to smooth out that type of process.
Yeah, all right. So what does Golden Shard do?
That'll be interesting.
Like I said, real simple for this one. We've understood how much Golden Gooseberries has opened up the meta and allowed different types of
Being able to get
hunters,
Golden Shard at
warriors to be
level
able to compete
1
and clear.
is a big
now
change.
You can pick the Golden Shard,
You know?
which just allows you to deal 15% of your basic attack damage in an area to gods and 25%
AoE
to minions
autos
and
at level
double
1,
camps. So
you know?
can have this from level 1.
That's
You don't have
huge
to
for
activate it. There's
not
no
only
cooldown.
hunters, but
It's just increasing that
junglers as
early
well.
kill
Yeah,
for
like
you.
an
Exactly.
Arachne.
This is even useful in
Exactly.
jungles with
Exactly.
characters like Baka, where you can get it, but you also want to focus on a couple other things, you know, make that build a little bit
Big
faster.
gameplay implications
You don't have
for
to
the level
necessarily
1.
go into Golden Blade if you need just a little bit of clear. You know, some characters still want Golden Blade, so of course we are keeping Golden Blade. You could go
it's not going
both
away.
even if you really
can.
want to go AoE clear. So
Stack them up.
yeah, stack them up.
Cool. All right, so next up, continuing the food-themed shards, we have the Sturdy Shard.
Have you guys heard of Sturdy Stew? Yeah, well,
I know Sturdy Stew.
That's this one.
Yeah, he played ADC for the Hounds, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this one's very, very similar. So,
Get hit by CC, get
as you will
protections.
tell from the
Passively.
previous shard, this one is going to be the Sturdy Stew effect, which is being hit by hard crowd control would pulse around you protections. So essentially, all of these guys have similar effects, but they are toned down a bit because, again, they are always active because they're passive shards.
which I like. I don't ever remember to hit buttons, you know. So
I don't
the
think you'd
passive
probably
thing's gonna
get
help me a
that
lot.
one as a support.
So the
Probably
last
some
one
other
is
things.
Vibrant Shard,
You
also
know?
coming from a food origin.
Yeah, this is the translation of Party Punch, basically, where you can get that Party Punch-like effect, but now having it from
Passive
level 1
shard
without needing to
damage, though,
activate
with
it.
a Party
Again, these shards
Punch,
do not have a cooldown.
even a little
They are
bit of
just
damage.
passive effects that are added to you.
That could still be
you
viable.
can keep them past level 12. I don't think that's necessarily the best plan for you.
Oh, especially with what we have coming up next.
Exactly. Yeah, Relic's also getting a little bit of a
That's just a little bit of
Let's
bonus
dive into
damage,
that then.
you
So
know, little bit of
changing
extra
a lot
thought
for
damage
year
right at
11,
level
like a
1,
lot.
you know,
So,
passively.
You know, it sounds
He's hitting
like
you for an
it might
extra
be
20
inheriting a
damage
system
every
from
10
something
seconds or
food-related,
whatever.
as well as maybe being trimmed down a little. So let's dive right into it. What's happening with
Yeah,
Relic?
so we talked about the questing aspect being really
questing.
fun. It gives players a really good ability to measure how effective they're being in the early game and beyond, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of translate that into a different system, so we're bringing them to relics. So essentially how this is going to work is everyone is going to be able to upgrade their relics for free throughout the game.
For free.
For
You can still
free.
pay for them if you absolutely want to, but it will be free depending on how you progress through these quests through the matches. So if you're going to be really good at completing your quests, you could get tier 3 relics earlier than 30 minutes. It's going to be great.
You
There you
can
go.
still purchase them for gold. You know, if you really need
Okay.
those spikes, particularly supports, that's something that
Yes,
they often
that
want
is
to get
very
their
important for supports.
relics upgraded a little bit earlier. But this,
Interesting.
we really
It's interesting that
seen
you
how
can still
heavily
buy them.
embraced this quest style mechanic
Yeah.
has been for items like
I
prophetic
bet you the
cloak and
average
Tablet of
player
Destinies,
never upgraded their
and these
relics, which is
recipe
why they're
shards.
doing
So
this.
now you don't have to
bet you
necessarily
the
spend
average
your
player
gold in order to
never
get to tier
did.
2 of beads if you're doing what you need to do, which is for your relic quest 1, killing or assisting minions. Then you can just get to your tier 2 of purification beads, get that lower cooldown, same for blink, meditation, you know, whatever
Thank you,
it may be.
advisory.
And then you'll get to the second step of the quest in order to get from tier 2 to tier 3. So it's a really good way to measure.
I
you know,
like
it's
it,
another-
though.
It's just another way
Questing
to
is good, gives you
gain
little
an
mini
incremental
objectives
advantage
throughout the
by
game. I like
playing
that.
to what you should be doing, which is something we really want to enforce.
Yeah, and this is something that's going to be different for a variety of gods, right? So
Yeah.
killing and assisting minions, you know, maybe laners are a little bit better at that. Our supports will be able to roam around and go wherever they need to go. So we understand that even between the variety of gods within a single role, we may see some outliers, the people that are able to finish these quests incredibly fast. So we will be keeping a very close eye on how this is going to affect games, especially because, I mean, tier 2 relics are actually low-key OP.
They are.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
They're strong.
Yeah.
They're so
strong.
good.
Now-
So getting them early, we're going to keep an eye on it.
And I have a question. A lot of relics branch into 2 different options at the end.
Yes.
So how does the questing system? How do you end up at that 3rd relic you want?
So essentially what's going to happen is that we no longer have branching relic systems, and we understand that that is something that people really love. They love the choice. So what we've done is we've created, you know, a couple little shifts to relics that we'll be going through in just a couple minutes here to hopefully combine some of those effects that people love the most. We did a lot of data analysis on which relics people prefer. Some of them were clear misses. Yes. Some of them were very, very equal. So we
Yep.
wanted to make sure that when we had those equal choices,
that'll be
we
interesting
were
to see how
representing
they-
it across the board.
if there's,
and
like, some
making
new
sure those
relics
effects that
now
you
to
guys
choose
love
between.
are still in the game.
Yep.
Awesome.
Or
Well,
if they
I mean,
just
I guess let's dive
combined
right
it all
into
into
and
one
talk about
massive
some of
OP
these
relic,
relic
you know?
changes. Kicking it off with Aegis Amulet.
Yeah, Aegis is one of the more clear ones where
Okay.
Aegis of Acceleration and Aegis of Judgment were pretty close actually in their
Okay.
purchase rates, but Aegis of Judgment had a lot more frustration factor, you know, returning that damage, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Aegis of Acceleration just felt a little bit more fair to play against, a little bit more straightforward. So Aegis of Judgment no longer in the game. You're no longer getting that explosion of damage, and you're just going to get that movement speed whenever you activate Aegis.
We did it for you.
Poseidon's in the world rejoice.
Next up, Blink Rune, the aggression one.
Yes, so this is our first one that's getting a bit of hybridization, you might say, between the two.
Hybridization.
So we are going to be keeping Scorching Blink Rune, but because the 2 blinks were so close, we wanted to implement a bit of Corrupted Blink Rune as well into the relic.
No,
so what
please
we're
don't
doing
slow people
is enemies that are
inside of your
affected by
torch.
the burn from the flames, so this is if you're
They
standing
are.
in it or you walk away from it,
Ouch.
they'll be slowed.
Ow, that's an OP relic. That's a very strong relic.
Slowing
crazy.
fire.
Very strong.
All right, so
Ow.
we're moving right ahead. Seems like another kind of simple one. Bracer of Radiance.
Yeah, Bracer of Radiance, I mean, this one is significantly more popular than Bracer of Illumination. This is one of the most cut and dry ones that we had.
Yeah.
You know, we tried to make Bracer of Illumination work. it wasn't really working. So now we'll no longer be in the game. Your Bracer upgrade is going to be Bracer of Radiance.
There you go.
Just as it is now, incredibly strong, very, very good at what it does, and identifying this area that you want to control and get your strength there. Bracer of Radiance is going to be back and better than ever.
There you go. So moving on, Cloak of Meditation, a fan favorite for me anyway. What's happening with it?
Yeah, so for us,
Probably
here,
not
Cloak of the
gonna
Ascetic
knock
was a
back.
very, very clear winner across the board. Cloak of the Avatar was able to enable some really cool plays, but it just wasn't holding up. For your non-Awelixes or whoever's buying it, you know, to get some crazy combos, it just wasn't hitting the same.
I think I maybe saw one
Nice and
Cloak of the
easy.
Avatar
So,
ever.
Heavenly Wings up next. What's changing there?
Yeah, so this is a little bit of a spicy one. We kind of glossed over that in this combination of some relics, we decided that there were some that could do with a little bit of boost, and we could clearly set their identity a little bit better. There is no longer going to be any Frenzy in the game. Bracer of Radiance and Frenzy. I know, don't worry. Oh, give me a sec.
We got
Bracer of Radiance and Frenzy were just too closely tied together. You know,
Okay.
they both did too much of the same thing.
Okay.
Hastened Wings, on the other hand, hasn't been very popular this year, hasn't really found its home.
Yeah, for all those people
What
that
if
don't
we
know
just
about how secretly
combine
OP
some
it
of
is?
these effects? So now, Hastened Wings will now grant 10% attack speed whenever you activate it, the tier 1. The tier 2 will also grant 10% attack speed. And the tier 3 of Entangling Wings, or Sprout, as it's more lovingly known, you activate it, you give your whole team movement speed, slow immunity, you root enemies in the area, and you get attack speed.
Told you, we
during
were
that
cooking.
time.
We were cooking. Recipes are gone because we took them
That's
all
a
in. We're taking them all in.
strong relic.
So my
That's
season
a
1 Hunter
strong
mains out there
relic.
who remember hitting the gas pedal with Sprint, it feels like it's back a little
We're back.
bit.
We're gas
Yeah,
pedaling.
we're so back.
So let's step back for a second. We're talking about all this new stuff, but you just mentioned it. Belt of Frenzy, not going to be here. Looks like Cursed Onk also didn't make the cut.
Yes, so up next we actually have Horrific Emblem, which is going to go into the why Cursed Onk is being removed. So
It's gonna
anyone
slow you
remember Creeping
and
Curse
anti-heal
from,
you,
you know,
huh?
like season 3, whatever it might be, something along those
Well, at
lines.
least they're all OP. As long as they're
That's
all
what
OP,
Horrific Emblem
then it's
is turning
fine,
back
you
into
know?
it. One of the biggest points that we wanted to look for here is the duplicate kind of gameplay. With Horrific and with Onk, you're both trying to hit as many enemies as you possibly can at the same time. Same kind of idea with Sprout.
Yep.
and Frenzy, right? You're trying to hit as many allies as you can. So instead of making you choose which ally hit or enemy hit one you're going to get, we're just going to let you know I want to hit all my enemies or I want to hit all my allies, and I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do both.
And it's just that simple. So it's a crazy thing to think like the sentence, we're removing Cursed Onk, because
Yeah.
every player who's played against a Hell
Yeah,
or a
don't
Terra or
panic,
anything
we
like
got
that,
you.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, how do we deal with these things without Onk? Here's the deal. Horrific Emblem has been better than its pick rate for basically its entire existence. It's already very strong. Now gaining that Onk effect, where it's reducing enemy healing
crazy.
and
That's
enemy
so
shielding,
strong.
in addition to reducing
That's
their movement
so
speed,
strong.
attack speed, and power, I believe.
Actually, the power is gone because
that's
we
right.
had this in the playtest.
That's right, it
we
was
tested it and we were like,
insane.
well,
Thank you for-
Horrific kind of does a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Tone it
So
back
we
just a
wanted to
little
make
bit.
sure that it was a little bit more focused.
Very
right?
strong.
We were getting the debuffing,
Right.
but not replacing other debuffing effects.
Exactly. So yeah, excuse me, no power removal, but
Yes,
now
this is all
doesn't have that
season
attack speed
11.
slow or power
This is
removal.
season
Instead,
11 patch
Still
notes.
does the giant slow,
Yep.
and now gives you that Onk effect of the reduced healing and
Exactly.
anti-shielding.
There's a lot of testing that goes into that. It's like matches and
So.
matches and matches.
Yep. So Horrific
Yes.
is now also
Rock and roll.
Onk.
All right, so next up, another pretty simple one. We got beads on the docket.
Yeah,
Or
so,
shell, too, actually.
Yeah, shell. Well, Fortifying Shell is great and all, but Phantom Shell, you kind of need it.
Phantom Shell's to go.
Yeah, knew that we needed something to deal with those types of
Fortifying
walls,
Shell's
Odin
gone.
cages, Yamojals,
Yeah.
all that type of stuff.
Ba-
Fortifying Shell, very, very good at what it
fortifying.
did, but Phantom Shell just felt like such a requirement.
And here's the thing, right, is that Fortifying Shell had a really strong effect against basic attackers.
Yes.
Just hold on a minute. We got
Yeah,
something for you in just
you
a
know
couple more
we got
minutes.
you.
We got you.
You know we got
Basic
you.
attackers are not running free.
Nope.
All right, so now we're at beads.
All right, okay.
What's going on with beads?
Beads,
Yes.
super simple. Temporal beads,
Yeah.
awesome, super fun, really interesting to use. Chaotic beads, had to get nerfed instantly upon its introduction. Never was allowed to return to relevancy after that.
Yeah.
We don't need it. It's going to be temporal beads all the way.
Temporal beads all the way.
that's fine by me.
Okay, so now we're on to Thorns, the
Oh,
give
wow.
the damage back item.
Is Zap in the crowd? I don't want him to have to hear this. Like, we're
No.
buffing Thorns, and
Okay.
it's just going to be
Hold
rough.
on.
No,
You heard it
don't
here
do
first.
that.
Right there.
No.
Sorry, Zap. if
No,
you're
we
here.
don't want it. No, we don't want
Shadow
it.
Thorns is a very
Wait.
interesting one, right? Because it's always a bit between the lines of, is it OP, is it not OP? You know, is it frustrating to play against?
it gives
So
you damage
instead
mitigation?
of us buffing or nerfing Thorns in any particular way, we are completely reworking Thorns
Yep.
to work more closely
Oh no, it's like
to Aegis of
it's an
Judgment.
explosion.
Okay.
Oh
So
god.
Aegis of Judgment, you know, it had this idea of taking this damage, storing it, and exploding it out.
Yeah.
Great idea. Didn't really fit for backline. Was
Damage
more designed
mitigation.
For a frontline type effect.
A
And
prison
Thorns
explosion.
already felt very
Up
unfair
to
play against
25%
whenever you could
max
just
health damage.
Activate it and no one can
And
hit you for that
reduces
time,
life
All of a
steal.
sudden you're doing a billion
Woo!
damage. Now it does a little bit of the defensive idea. It gives you a defensive buff when you activate it, receiving that damage mitigation. But you also then can explode in that area and deal some extra damage after you've taken up that damage. And it's pre-mitigation, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. We just wanted to add a skill element to Thorns, you know? That's the real idea of it, is that now you have to, there's counterplay in, oh, if I can create distance between myself and this enemy who's using Thorns, I'm not going to take nearly as much damage as if they can stay on top of me,
Yeah,
which is
and
part
for
of
the
the skill
Thorns
set.
user themselves, right, they also get a bit of a buff because before you could activate it at a, you know, not ideal time, and you kind of just
That
get
was a Hydro homie
Right. You at least
indeed.
get a bit of mitigation, so there's just more
Indeed.
chances for there to be a situation where you're like, yeah, I used my Thorns, and I used it well.
More use cases. And for those of you who are like me and like to build it on Kuzimbo and then go double spikes and just really do all the damage, just dive the backline, you'll be fine. So.
Yeah. One more thing about Shield of Thorns, by the way, is that the Tier 1 and the Tier 2 do the normal thing with the cooldown when you upgrade it. Tier 3, we're taking from Thorns of Sapping Strength, which is going to be when you're hit.
Oh no, it gets
you get
worse.
A basic, any basic attacks on you will do the cooldown reduce moment
The
that was
cooldown
from
reduce
before.
moment.
Yep.
Got it.
Exactly.
So if you like
I know how it
cooldown
works.
reduce moments, this is for you. All right, so next on
There's
the list,
a lot.
we're talking Sundering Spear.
That's a lot of Thorns.
Sundering Spear has been a pretty clear winner on Sundering Blast. You know, Sundering Siphon, we all had our fun at the beginning of the year and, you know, tethering to people, but Sundering Blast has been very effective and very fun to use. Pretty easy call here. We're getting rid of Sundering Siphon.
Yeah.
All right, easy. So we have two more. First, Teleport Fragment. Let's talk Teleport.
Yeah, Teleport was another really close one, right?
Teleport's
because there
gonna
were
be on
situations
the
where
map
persistent
now?
teleport goes kind of crazy, right? You're just fighting all the
It's kinda
time. You're
crazy that
constantly
you-
brawling.
it's gonna be a
You wanna
teleport
be able to
active
teleport
and
as
a
much as you possibly
teleporter?
can. However, there were times as well where heroic teleport kind of goes crazy. You show up to a fire giant, you teleport behind them. Situations like that where you can really get into the thick of things right away.
Yeah.
That was really, really fun for heroic teleport, which gave it that really cool option of going into it. So we're giving, whenever you teleport with persistent teleport, you get a heroic style buff, just not as strong and for not as long.
Yep, just a little, again, this is one of those combination effects where we're taking a little bit of
That's a
this
strong-ass
and adding
active.
it into persistent teleport. You lose that opportunity to use heroic
That's a
all the
strong
time, but
active.
we think it'll feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to pull the crowd on this one. We cooked up a new relic. Y'all want to see that? Okay. I think that was a yes. So
All of the
How about you
relics
tell
are
us about
strong.
Divine Barrier.
Divine Barrier, a brand new relic. It's been a while since we've added a whole
it's
new
been a
relic
long time, man.
to the game, which is really exciting. We wanted to go with some, relics are uniquely powerful effects that are usually a little bit more niche. You know, you're not always getting crowd controlled, but when you do, you really want purification beads.
Yeah.
You're not always, say, sieging, but when you are, having a very powerful effect there can be really beneficial, or when you're defending against a siege. That was kind of where this idea started, and then we were able to find some really cool use cases outside of just sieging.
Yeah.
But playing around objectives, playing around sieges, that's what Smite is about, and that's where Divine Barrier comes in. So Divine
Hit me
Barrier
with
is a 40-unit wide wall of Divine Light that reduces the damage of all enemy basic attacks that pass through it by 30%. Additionally, if you enemies that walk through it
30
are slowed.
seconds.
So we didn't want this to be the primary use for it. You know, Horrific Emblem is the premier slow my enemy in combat effect. but it needed to do something besides block these
Yes.
ranged basic attacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It needs to be applicable for
30
other characters
seconds.
besides the ranged ones. And
Exactly.
this effect also gives it that really good zoning tool potential for when you're playing around Fire Giant. 40 units is a pretty sizable range.
that's a wide
You
wall.
could
Big.
block off a whole section of the pathway in the Fire Giant with Divine Barrier and make room where your
That's
enemies can't really walk through.
interesting.
Yep, it is a very good space control relic, which we think is something that we've done on the offensive side with Bracer of Radiance, but we hadn't done a defensive, barrier in this way where Divine Barrier comes in.
bullet
and then it gets
barrier.
even crazier whenever you get to get that tier 3, that blessed barrier
Crazy wall.
being that tier
yeah.
3. So of course it's still reducing enemy basic attack damage, but now you can also increase the damage of allied basic attacks by 10%. So a little bit like Thoth the Wall, but for your own team's basic attacks. So you can use it defensively, you can use it offensively.
Stack
and
it
it's
with
gonna
the
be-
Thoth
It's going to be
Wall.
pretty fun to use, I think.
See how fast no
That
objectives
sounds
die,
cool
you know
to
what I'm saying?
Is that all right?
I'd already heard a nerf
I can
that,
hear you
I think,
cooking
so.
on it.
I can hear
I can
everyone
hear you
theory crafting.
Okay,
Yeah.
that sounds pretty good. So, all right, obviously, we just talked about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of more
I mean,
stuff.
it's
You guys
good,
check out the patch
but
notes a
like,
little bit later today.
they
They're on their
all
way, trust
seem
me,
really
but,
strong, so
that's-
I don't
it
know
was
if it's like
28
OP.
pages, I think you
It's
said.
long.
You know,
very
like-
long.
that we were cooking.
The other
on.
relics
I'm not
also looked
talking like
hot.
Double space.
So-
This was single space, magnifying glass text, a lot of stuff. So they were cooking, dude. But that does it for our relics. And now we're staying in the shop. We're staying in the items.
Yeah.
We're moving over to consumables now. So, I mean, y'all saw the keynote. Y'all told me that already. Y'all saw the new wards. But first, let's talk about Mana Chalice. What's going on?
Yeah, unfortunately, in order to make room for these, we do actually have like a consumable limit that we can only have in the store, but when we were getting kind of close to it, our data showed that Mana Chalice was probably hurting players more than it was actually helping them.
It does.
Wasn't particularly gold efficient, so
It
Mana Chalice
does.
is going to be removed from the
It does.
It
was like a negative item.
out here, but it seems like there are some Mana Chalice haters, which, we're right there with you. So Mana Chalice is gone in order to make room for the brand new Proximity Ward and Raven Ward.
All right, and y'all saw those yesterday, right? Yeah? Okay, so we're going to start with the Proximity Ward. What exactly does that do?
Too funny.
You know how
Too
there are
funny.
times where you're trying to set a trap around Fire Giant and you're kind of looking for the right moment, but it's kind of hard because you have to pick the moment yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you can also, with Proximity Ward, try and set that trap up yourself. So essentially how this will work is you can place down this ward. The vision range is smaller, but it does last for longer. And essentially, if an enemy walks within 20 units of this ward, they'll be pinged on the map and an explosion will start. So after that 1.5 second countdown, it will explode in a 40 unit radius that will slow and reveal everyone hit by it.
And it'll slow them as well. So
Yeah.
it pops up. You do have an opportunity to try and basic attack it down,
Yeah.
very
Like a
similar to the
Teemo
Runic Bomb.
mushroom
Before the Runic
ward,
Bomb
you
explodes,
know?
can basic attack it. Same with Proximity Ward. But if you trigger this trap and you can't kill it in time, then you and your allies around you will be revealed for a long time and slowed for a shorter amount of time and allow the enemy to try and pounce on you right then. So
That's pretty cool.
It's been really fun trying to hide these in like off-kilter ward spaces because Sentry Wards still reveal these. You can still kill them that way.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of put it in a weird spot, maybe they go to pick up their red buff, and all of a sudden the Proximity Ward triggers, they're trapped, they get slowed, they get revealed for a long duration of time, and you have significant advantage over your
Yeah, in
enemy.
playtest, I have been playing a bit of jungle, you might say. And
Just a bit. Yeah.
Buying one of these in jungle, throwing it down on a mid camp, and watching the mid set it off,
Interesting.
and then being able to go and get the kill, it's so cool.
Yep. And it's also fun to be like, have to be on your toes a little bit, and you hear that, you see it, and then you go, oh man, I got to kill this in time before I get revealed for 10 seconds. So it's been fun to play around.
That's cool. So the next one is super helpful for people like me. I like the Guardians. I like the tanks. And sometimes I'm like, I want to go put this ward on Fire Giant or Gold Fury, but I'm gonna get killed if they're there. Like I don't want that.
Yes.
Raven Ward has been a boon to that. What does Raven Ward do?
Raven Ward is really simple. Odin, has his ravens. They fly around the earth and collect information to bring back to him. Now you have access to his vision through these ravens as well. So it's a 75 gold ward where you can just fire it in a straight line. It will fly over the map. You'll see it very clearly, and it will reveal everything underneath it for a short period of time as it passes over. If it hits a god, it will ping them. They will stay
That's
revealed
gonna be
for a
so
short duration
strong to
beyond
carry
when
on
they
for
have
late
just
game.
left.
Flies by. Okay.
But
gonna be
it's
so
really
strong.
great for checking out different corners, you know, hey, I'm playing Kukulkan.
Yeah.
My support has somehow died for the 10th time. I have no vision on if I can try and get in there and steal this fire giant. How low is it? Raven Ward can clear a path.
That right
make sure
there,
that I know no one
that's
is
the
going to
OP
be on that
one.
line.
For
Give me vision of the
squishies,
fire giant.
that's gonna be
You can
huge.
see, hey, you know, are they
For
invading?
vision.
Is the jungler on his speed right now?
Huge.
Can I go over to Gold Fury? Can I make an invade play at purple buff, something like that? I think that there are going to be a lot of really cool, unique uses of Raven Ward because it covers a significant portion of the map.
500
units
is a
not
long
quite
ways.
global, but
it's
it's
a little
close.
under half of a conquest map.
Yes,
It's a little under.
a little under half of the size of the conquest map. So you get significant vision
That's
in the direction that you're
crazy.
choosing.
That's really cool. So 2 new types of wards for those Vision fans out there. If we got
That's
any
so
out there in the
strong.
audience.
Even if it was half of that, it would be strong.
Maybe,
We all love buying them.
maybe more of y'all should ward, all right? That's what I'm getting from that. So, but super cool. Looking forward to those consumables. Next up is kind of big, though.
This is big.
We're
Big.
moving from a few items to a system here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm gathering, we're working on lifesteal.
Yeah, lifesteal is one of those stats that has needed to stay relatively weak because of its strength in certain areas. Namely, how strong it is to get a little bit weak in a fight, dip out of the fight, go to a jungle camp, go to a lane, lifesteal off those minions, and then come back. And this is very similar to the way we felt about healing in the Season of Hope, where
I'm with you.
out of combat
I concur.
healing was more problematic than in combat healing. We made a
100%.
lot of shifts that we think were very successful in incentivizing in combat healing and not really punishing you otherwise. Lifesteal is going to get a very similar rework, where now you will lifesteal for half the value against non-god targets. So if you dip into the jungle, if you dip into a lane, you're going to get a lot less lifesteal from those targets. But it means that we can put more significant stat power into the lifesteal stat because it's going to be better in the situations where we want it to be better. So what
This
you
is-
can do,
this
what
is
you'll
cool.
see is that
This makes
every
sense to me.
single
I'm
lifesteal
liking the
item
idea.
had its lifesteal value increased because you will now lifesteal for more when you're in God combat and lifesteal for less when you're out of God combat.
Okay. So, I mean, we like fighting other gods, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whole point.
Yeah, it's like the whole point.
Good for me. Anubis walking off and full
So
healing off a
obviously,
green camp isn't very exciting.
From
you
what
know?
I've seen and from what y'all have told me, this affects every single lifesteal item and a god ability in the game, right?
And buff.
And buff. And buff. So everything lifesteal has been affected by this.
Good, good.
We can spend the rest of my time up here on stage probably talking about lifesteal.
It's a long list.
It's a long list. But that's going to be patch note stuff. Y'all are going to have to go check out all those individual numbers on patch notes. But we highlighted a few things that we wanted to talk about here. So we're going to touch on those now, starting with actually a new item in the lifesteal category, Crimson Claws.
Yeah, what a better time to add new items than with the whole system rework, right?
And with a whole year 11.
50 physical
We've got a
power,
new
20%
physical
attack
option
speed,
for
and
those who wish to learn. So for
15%
Crimson Claws,
life
it's
steal.
upgrading from Val's
Damn!
Gauntlet to the same tree as Soul Eater.
Okay.
And so this is going to give you some power, attack speed, and lifesteal. And then, of course, the important thing about this item is the passive, which is going to grant you a shield when you heal from enemies at full health.
There you go.
Excess healing, you know, your lifesteal, but you're full. Now you can convert that lifesteal
2550. It's
really
so strong.
Hunters hate so much.
Yeah, so if you start that
It's
engage
so
right, you get the first couple
strong.
hits off, all of a sudden, you got a bigger health pool to play with. You can stay in there a little longer, so super cool.
Damn.
So let's touch over into the magical item area a little bit and talk about Rejuvenating Heart.
That's
I hear
getting
it's
bought.
a little bit of a tune-up.
Yeah, so Rejuvenating Heart was introduced in the Season of Hope, and it just never really found a home. You know, it just wasn't really hitting the way we wanted it to. So it's completely reworked. It is the same art. But now, when you lifesteal off of enemy gods, you distribute some of that healing from lifesteal around to your enemy gods. So
that's
if you're
cool.
like me,
That's
and have a
insane
degenerate
for like
playstyle of
Hades,
playing
dude, because he
Ben
already
Cross
heals
Jean
people.
Kui, and I want to blink in and just deal as much damage as I can, try and heal what I can to stay alive. Now I can distribute that lifesteal out to my teammates
That's
and help them
cool.
in that way.
That's
So
really
it won't
cool.
work on enemy or minions or anything like that. You're not going to be able to sustain your team through clearing waves or anything, but in combat, if you get a really, really big Hades ult or a really big Jean Kui ult, you know, something like that, this can now, you know, Anubis is going crazy with this. You can now heal your
That
team
can go
through
ham.
your own lifesteal, which I think is pretty cool.
as a big
Makes
Anubis
it an
player,
actual
that
item.
means the
That's
world
cool.
to me, because you know I'm going to be out there like getting those damage stats and the healing.
It's a
stats.
real item.
Yeah, if you're in my games and you'll be carrying me. It doesn't matter. All right, so moving on down the magical item list, we're talking talons, claws, and fangs here. We want to talk about how those have changed. So let's dive into the Bancrofts.
Yeah, so essentially we wanted to bring up these items specifically because they had some inherent lifesteal interactions within their passive, especially for Bancroft's Talon and Typhon's Fang. Those two are like
Up
kind
to
of the
30%
premier magical
lifesteal.
items.
I wonder if
And,
they
for
increased the
longest time,
lifesteal
It's been very
limit.
hard to see these guys in some solid builds that we felt that were competitively viable. So we are doing some adjustments here to make sure that they still feel in line, but essentially they're just getting the lifesteal treatment that the other items are, but a couple other small changes.
Okay. So, I mean, that's awesome. We got some bump ups. And I'm excited to see it. They're good items, they're cool items, and again, as a lifesteal, as Anubis, anything that gives me lifesteal, you know I'm gonna be building up
yeah,
too.
you're living.
So that's gonna, again, we didn't talk about all the lifesteal items. There's a lot of them. So if you want to go check out the patch notes, they will be arriving at some point later today. I'd give you an exact time, but then I'd be wrong, and then I'd get tweeted at. So
It'll be very
keep your
interesting
eyes
to
open.
see
They'll
how
be there
that
if you wanna
works
see
out.
all of those numbers. Because
I
again,
love the
it
idea
is
on paper.
So many numbers.
I love the
Like,
idea
these
on
two
paper.
Went
So-
crazy. I thought I didn't sleep, like getting hyped for this, but they were over
We'll
here
have
like,
to
we
see how it
got
actually
man,
plays out in
everything.
game.
Me sitting there tracking down every last individual that had lifesteal in the game.
Yes, that is
Yeah, we have-
literally
Gilgamesh
what we have
has
to do.
it.
We have a
What the heck, man?
Gilgamesh gets to kick things. Gilgamesh is the GOAT. So now we're talking systems that have been changed. I think we're going to stay on that track, talking about systems that have gotten some love. And now we're moving on to items that are great in Conquest and Troll and a lot of other places, stacking items.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stacking items have been a staple of Smite for a
forever.
long, long time. I remember building Devo's gauntlets 10 years ago, man. It's been forever.
Yep.
Essentially, what we want to do here with stacking items is make it a little bit less troll to build in other modes. That was kind of the #1 point. And number 2, we wanted to encourage people to actually fight while these items are stacking up, because a lot of times you're like, I can't really do anything until I get my power spike of finishing my Transcendence, my Warlocks, whatever it might be. I'm not getting my power spike until I'm done. But now you're actually very incentivized with these system changes that we're doing to go and fight while you're stacking as well.
Exactly. It's pretty simple. This is the way I think of it. Do you have a lot of fun stacking Devourer's gauntlets out there? Is that like fun? Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
It's
How
fine.
about stacking Prophetic Cloak? Is that more fun? Right.
All right.
It's more fun.
It's
to
more
stack Prophetic Cloak. It's a
Yeah.
little bit more interactive with the game instead of just last-hitting minions. So now, all stacking items, Devourer's Gauntlets, Transcendence, you name it, you now have to do different things rather than just hitting these gods in order to stack it.
Okay.
And it's set to what those items like to do. So
Okay.
now, these are all the last hit stack items, I should clarify.
Yeah.
Gauntlet of Thebes, still the same. The rest of these, more about god combat.
Yeah. We want people fighting, Year of combat.
Okay.
So, again,
Okay.
I'm going to say this a lot, all right? A lot of different
All
things
the
we can
items
talk
available
about
on
here, a lot of different
Assault.
items, and you'll get to see them later. You'll get to see them on your
So
own time,
you get
whenever
stacks
you want,
by
but we're gonna bring
dealing
up
damage
Warlock
to
staff kinda
energy.
give you an idea of what
Dealing
we're
damage to
talking
enemy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool.
What's what happened with Warlock?
Okay.
So Warlock
Okay.
stuff has been, kind of in and out of the meta in the past several years, right? I say years because where has it been all this year?
You
man?
fight,
I don't know.
and you get stacks.
So, did you
Encouraging
know
combat.
that Warlock staff
Cool.
in current Smite, it takes 100 stacks
Yes.
for you
I
to
didn't
get
know that.
75 health.
Yes, it is not a lot of value. It's not a lot
very
of value.
much. So
No.
we're doing a lot of stat shifts on this one in particular, and that's why it's very important for us to talk about. But essentially, Warlock's is a special one because you gain stacks of Warlock staff by taking or dealing damage to enemy minions and enemy gods. And the best part about this whole system is that you gain double contribution towards your stacks by hitting enemy gods. So the more that you're fighting the god in your lane, your jungler, whatever it might be, you're going to be getting these even faster than before.
Got it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's not gonna be nearly as grief when you see your.
You get
Jean-Queen
300
build. I don't know why Jean-Queen's my
health
example for
from
every
it.
item,
It's your
but
He likes it.
that's my
Okay,
point.
okay,
Now
okay.
you can build 4th item Warlocks because you can stack it faster.
Yeah.
All
Because
right, all
you're
right.
dealing more damage.
I
during
like
that
it,
time.
I
So
like
you can
it.
Stack up a little bit faster. It allows you to build these items a little bit later
Okay.
sometimes, or time it out
All right.
to get your spikes at the right time, kind of line it up with the rest of your build. It's been a lot of fun to play test with, and I think people are going to really like it.
Ideally, if you're playing about the same as you were before, you
80
should be finishing these
magical
items at
power,
roughly the same time. We
400
did a
health.
lot of calculation and data gathering and testing to try and get these at about the same spot. But again, for those players that want to get active, that want to fight, that want to poke, you're going to be getting these faster than you were before. However, there's another very exciting point that I'm sure you guys saw on the notes there earlier. You can now build stacking items in Assault.
We got it. They're there.
No more fighting for last hits means you can build it wherever you want.
And it's not troll either.
And
so
it's not
that's
troll.
all the better. So.
Much better in arena, joust, slash, assault, all of these different modes. Stacking items now are basically unlocked, so to speak, literally in assault, but in all those other modes, they're much better.
Yeah, and again, so cool
Dope.
from what you said. It's like two buffs, and that's not the right word, two bonuses. You get to build them in other modes, and you get to choose what slot you want to put them in because it's based on damage. In late game, you're dealing more. It kind of stacks a little faster.
Yep.
So many new possibilities. I'm excited to see how y'all kind of break into this system and really make it powerful because that's what y'all always do.
Yep.
So super cool.
like
Next
it.
up, more items. We're still in the item zone, but these ones are kind of coming back from the dead. And I swear, if anybody says shoes, I'm gonna fight. I'll throw my shoes. It's not shoes. And you don't get my shoes.
It's not boots.
It's not boots.
It's not boots.
Sorry, y'all.
All right. So we have 3 cool items coming back. One with a little bit of a rename, starting with Void Shield.
Yeah, you guys remember Void Shield? Yeah, we do too.
Okay.
It's for you. It's for you.
We do too.
A lot of Void Shield lovers.
Not a lot of mage players out there, I see. A lot of warrior mages.
A lot of warriors.
There
you go. There you go.
Look, we've
Physical,
heard the complaints.
health.
You know, warriors
Okay.
obviously have been in a really weird spot at multiple points this year. That's
true.
And this was
That
one
seems
of the biggest
okay.
community requests, was bringing back
That seems okay.
Void Shield, maybe another Void item of some kind. Impossible
We'll
to
get to
remember
that
which
one,
one
yeah.
that is.
Maybe we'll talk about it.
But we still believe that this going with this stat spread, or preventing power, protections, and health on the same item on its base stats is important. It has opened up the jungle meta a lot. We know that it has
That's
affected
fine.
warriors, and we're looking to address that in a lot of ways. But bringing back these items, this is now going to be in the shield tree, just like Gladiator Shield, Berserker Shield, all that kind of stuff. Physical protection, health, HP 5. And now enemy gods will have their physical
It is
protections
actually a
reduced by
strong
10%
early game item.
when
The
you're in the
passive
area.
obviously
So
isn't
just like
super
before,
strong early,
we'll
but
stack
like
with multiples,
those
but
base stats
giving
are
these
huge.
divers an
Physical protections,
opportunity to
health, and
deal
25
better
HP
damage
5
against those
early is
targets that are being
strong
buffed up
for
by these really,
laning.
really strong support auras.
Got it. Super cool. So next up, keeping to the Void trend. This one, the name is a little different, but it's something you might know and love. So it's called Void Domaru.
Yes, Void Domaru is actually going to be an item that you might remember.
Okay.
Void Stone. Anyone remember Void Stone?
Void Stone lovers? Okay, we got a few.
Magical
so this
health,
is essentially a reskin of
MP5,
Void
and
Stone to go into the
CCR.
Spellbound Kusari tree,
Okay.
because that's where we had space. We got a lot of new stones last year, and they're really fun.
true.
Really
Okay.
awesome.
We were capped out on stones.
We love
already had
rocks.
Too many
4,
stones.
All
so
right.
we wanted to still bring the effect.
Yeah, but essentially, this is Void Stone renewed. So you've got, of course, magical protections, health, MP5, and crowd control reduction, and then, of course, the aura to reduce magical protections. The best part about this, you can build both Void items on any character.
It's true.
any
Anyone can
character.
build both Void items now, which
You
is
can
fun.
be one with the voids.
They're not
Yes.
bad items.
All right, so
They're
next
not
up,
bad.
the third item, last item that we're bringing
Yeah,
back.
one more.
Anybody fan of the hammer tree? Anybody like hammers? Okay, some hammer lovers. What about Blackthorn hammer? Okay. Well, it's coming back. Blackthorn hammer.
Blackthorn Hammer is indeed back.
Okay.
One of the big complaints we heard when it came to warrior itemization is that they didn't have a good power first item to go in order to help them clear minions effectively, trade effectively, and maintain that early
And those are
game
generically
strength
good
that they
stats.
typically have.
Mana, health, power,
Blackthorn
nothing
Hammer is
wrong
now
with
there
that.
To do that, very
There's not
similar
much
to
it
what it was
costs.
before. 35 physical power, 250 health, 200 mana, and that exact same passive of when
Yeah.
you're over mana, over 25% mana,
23,
you gain cooldown
50.
reduction, and when under, you gain a bunch of MP5. It's nice
Classic.
and cheap. It's great for trading. You know, it's a good amount of stats.
Yeah.
Very straightforward item.
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that's OP.
Awesome.
I don't think it's
and those
OP.
are the
Like,
three
that's
items
not
you're gonna be
game-changing, but it
seeing
should be a
coming with
solid
Year 11,
build
like,
option,
right around the
which is
corner.
good,
It's gonna be, you know,
right? You want an
once
item
we
to be
get back,
good
we'll hit the
and
PTS,
viable,
then
but
it's gonna be out
not like, oh, I
wide,
can't
and,
believe they built
we're gonna
Black
see
or
how to buy
Hammer
those
guy.
and make them look really good and beat me in my games with them. Stop doing that. So next up, glyphs.
Yeah, we
Glyphs
gotta
is-
talk about glyphs.
Glyphs is kind of a new system still, you know? Like, it's been around for a little while, but it's seen a lot of change, it's seen a lot of power. We've seen y'all really take these enhanced items and, like, slot the different ones into perfect builds. But it's year 11, you know? And year 11, every time we hit a new year, and year 11 is a crazy year to be hitting.
Yep.
We take it, we're like, well, how can we make that crazier? How can we make that more exciting? And I think y'all did a pretty good job with glyphs. How about you tell us what's happening to glyphs?
What's happening?
Glyphs before were previously limited to only buying one throughout the game.
That's true.
Now, you can buy as many glyphs as you want.
That's 6 of them, even.
You get a glyph, and you get a glyph, and you, well, they all have the same amount of glyphs, I guess.
You
Yeah.
get 6 at least.
We knew that
Okay.
having a late game gold sync is important.
gotta
know,
be-
for those rare games.
you gotta
that are
be
going to
careful
45,
with
50
that.
minutes, you need to be able to spend your gold. And with the new relic system and
Yeah.
allowing you to upgrade those relics for free through these quests,
Okay.
that was a late game gold sync that players were losing. So
Yeah.
we wanted them to have somewhere else to spend that gold. Buying multiple glyphs is a great way to do it.
Awesome. So before we get
They
into
removed some
there's
glyphs.
a few glyph changes, some new glyphs. But before we get into it, I know 2 of them are not making it on
Yeah.
to year 11.
We had to lose a couple to
Yeah.
gain some new ones.
Yes.
So it looks like we're losing Envenom, Deathbringer, and Heavy Executioner.
Yes, both of
Alright.
these items were useful in certain scenarios. For Envenomed, of course, it is a very strong anti-heal options for crit hunters,
Yeah.
specifically, which was, kind of the problem of that item was that it was only for one certain archetype of hunters and just not helpful for the others. Whereas Heavy Exy, it's really good for, your warrior jungles, which,
Yep.
can be very strong in certain scenarios, or your just low attack speed
I'm
characters
curious
that
as to
don't
what
really
new
care about
glyphs
the
they're
cap.
going to add.
Right.
Multiple
So we
glyphs
wanted to
could
make
be
sure that we're
really
kind of spicing
strong,
things up a little bit
potential.
in terms of keeping the kind of idea of these items still
But will
having
it be
really
strong
powerful,
enough to
cool glyph
alter your
effects,
build
but
path
shifting things around a bit.
around
Exactly.
glyphs?
So we wanted to make anti-heal a little bit more accessible to not just crit hunters, as
Exactly.
Remy just mentioned. So that meant moving Envenom to Deathbringer, which we'll get to in a moment. But that means we have a new Deathbringer slot. So
Yeah.
It's true. So what did we
we're
put there?
Deathbringer is not an item that you do something okay with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
its
it's
name is
Deathbringer.
Deathbringer. It has one of the most iconic arts in Smite item history.
Yeah.
So we wanted to really get a little crazy with it here with this glyph, which I think we did. So introducing Devoted Deathbringer.
The Devoted Deathbringer.
It's a brand new glyph for Deathbringer that multiplies your critical strike chance by 1.3.
Cool, right?
And just like Silver Branch Bow pays you for overcapping attack speed, Devoted Deathbringer will pay you for overcapping crit chance.
God,
There you go.
damn. That is scary.
So for each little bit, every 5% critical strike chance
Oh
you go
my
over 100%,
goodness.
you gain physical power. Circuit players everywhere drooling,
Yeah.
and understandably so.
Awesome. So we have
Very
one more
scary.
to talk about.
Spectral Armor coming in
The name
hot
might
in
sound a little
season
familiar.
11.
It's called Envenom
Hot.
Executioner.
Yeah, so with this new slot that we opened up on Executioner by removing Heavy XC,
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot easier for hunters to get a worthwhile anti-heal. And
Dope. That's a great change. That's a great change. Hunters have viable anti-heal. Woo!
Right.
That's it.
Does the same thing.
Nice
Yeah.
and simple.
Nice and
Nice.
simple. Enjoy it. Okay, so another system that was kind of new, class passives. You know, they brought a lot. They were a big year 10 thing, and now something different's happening with them in year 11. And what is that different thing?
Yeah, so we've heard a lot of discussion about class passives.
Yeah.
You know, the ideas behind them we explained pretty well and what they wanted to do, but we've heard the community that they were causing more problems than they were solving. So as a result, in year 11, class passives are removed
Bye-bye.
from the game. No
They're
more
gone.
class passives.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
Whatsoever.
Yep. Like
This
they were never
means
there.
that mages aren't getting their free power, warriors aren't getting their free CDR. We think that this will affect some of the balance of classes. You know,
Yeah.
we might see more hunters in mid again. We might see more warriors in jungle again. But that's something that we want to confirm with the data of when the players get their hands on year 11 before we make a lot of preemptive changes in order to get ahead of it.
That's fine by me.
We're looking forward to seeing what this does.
No,
and,
no
this is a
strong
big community
opinion on that
request
either
we're
way.
happy to fulfill.
Yeah, the other thing about it is that this just solved a lot of problems. At the beginning of the year, we had a meta where, like you said, hunters were just dominating.
Yes.
So we needed a way to kind of shift classes around to make sure that they were still having all of that value. So it solved the problem at the beginning, right? But as the meta went on, as various mage items got buffs, whatever it might be, it just didn't really work anymore. These solutions were creating more problems than they were solving. So essentially,
I'm trying to think
instead of
which class gets hurt
continuing
the
to,
worst by
maintain
that.
this, play
Probably
around with it,
mages,
we
right?
want to just make sure that the items themselves are very
Probably
sound. And no more
mages?
managing an invisible 10% cooldown. No more managing any of that. It's just going to be your stats are your stats. No worrying about any of the other stuff.
So yeah, and like we said, did it for y'all. Y'all told us, maybe not with the passives, and we dig that kind of feedback. The more y'all tell us, the easier it is for us to shape this into the most fun thing ever, and what's going to be a really hype year 11. So. Okay, so we've talked a lot of shop with balance. It's super cool. There's still more to come. I mean, obviously we got game modes we got to talk about. But let's talk about some of the other content you're going to expect to see. Some of the new events and some of the changed events you might see, as well as some cool cosmetics. Starting off with Year 10's Commendation Award. So we've made it through Year 10. This is the kickoff of Year 11. It was an incredible year, and we were super excited to see all of y'all get into the game and help us define these metas and help us create all this cool content. And the Commendation Award y'all saw, I mean, I think it was February of last year, so it's been a long time. But now it is ready. Like, for those of you who have played the games, been a teacher, been a teammate, and had a great time, you're looking forward to getting Gilded Glory Ishtar. So a super cool thing that should be coming to y'all with Year 11.
One of the best card arts we've done.
Honestly.
Insane card art.
Insane card
No
art.
bias at all.
Ishtar's good.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. So again, you'll be looking forward to this as we kick off into Year 11. So let's talk Year 11 though. Let's talk rewards. Who's ready to hit the ranked grind in Year 11? Ranked players? Okay. We got some ranked players out there. All right, so obviously, when you're playing ranked, you're going for the rank, you're going for the title, but you're also going for some cool rewards. And there's a good handful of them, but the one we're gonna highlight right here is a new skin. We have Cyber Chief Ravana. And this is your Year 11 ranked reward, right?
It's dope.
Y'all are gonna have to play ranked.
This skin theme is just incredible. I love all the small details too, and he really looks badass, man.
I love the cash money, so I mean, I'm all about it, on that grind. So, well, first off, I guess before I keep talking, might as well see it in game.
Y'all are definitely gonna have to play ranked.
Had to do it to him.
Had to do it to him. Just like Robin has to do it to you whenever he's, fixing your face, so to speak.
Rearranging it in some way.
Yes.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar, the way that these ranked awards worked is that this skin, once the ranked grind starts, is waiting for you. For those of you who know how to how we do those diamond grinds, and every time we launch a new god, kind of the same thing here. You're gonna grind that rank, you're gonna work for these rewards, and once you hit that tier, once you hit the I'm getting Cyber Chief Ravana tier, it's yours.
Yep.
So rush there if you want. Tweet, day 6 of the new year, like already
Day
got
6? You think it's not going to be done on day 1?
Okay, I guess I underestimated.
75 wins is a little not much for day 1.
That's true. No, look, we have some speed runners out there, speed running the W's. So this will be your Year 11 ranked reward skin.
There is no way that you
could
could play 75 conquest games.
Those out in
You could do
notes
ranked
when they
duel and
pop into the
feasibly
world.
make it.
But,
You could
I hope you're
feasibly
looking
get it
forward
in
to getting
ranked
this, and I hope y'all are reaching for new heights this year,
But
hitting that Year
it's
11
almost
ranked
one
time.
conquest game per hour.
So next up, let's
you
talk
probably
the
end up
chest.
getting
We have a Year
30
11 chest we
entire
wanna talk
conquest
about,
matches in the day.
Specifically,
So.
the Undead chest. And the Undead chest has the Undead Fenrir, and we got card art for that right here.
One of my favorites from this patch, I do believe. It's it looks so sick in game. It looks so cool in game.
He's got a lot of really small, spooky details. Like he's got a lot of bones sticking out places where, they probably shouldn't be showing.
Yeah,
but
typically not.
He's got some
undead,
skeletons
so he can
in
do
his
whatever he wants.
belly.
Cool. It looks like he has
In
a
his
lot
belly.
of little friends in his stomach there. I see. It looks like eyes. So cool.
Friends.
I just wanted to make sure that I was the right level of disturbed when looking at this. So this will be available with the Year 11 update in the Undead chest.
Yep.
So next up, we're gonna see it in game. Because you have to. That's how it is.
it's where it's at its best for
Yeah.
sure. Because these little trails on his hands are really, really cool. I love those.
Yeah, I just love the color as well. Like, he's just kind of this, like, almost frozen sort of soul that's come back from the dead to haunt you guys and pick you up and put you under a tower.
Yep.
Yeah, we're really kicking off year 11 with a lot of the goth graveyard vibes. So,
Yeah.
what is that? That? Huh. We'll have to talk about that a little later, I guess.
We'll get to that.
We'll get there. We'll get there. You got to theory craft it.
They technically already talked about it.
They want it broken.
They want
I
it
still let
broken.
him break it.
They want to break it.
Inside is that stupid little scepter thing.
Go. How can we say no to that? Come on.
It's the dumb Sekhmet scepter of Suck Suck.
Wait, what is that? What is that? Holy crap. I've never seen that before. Not recently.
The people love their scepter.
Really?
Say what you will, but you have to admit, people love the scepter.
People love the scepter.
They can't get enough scepter.
All right, and
We'll be talking more about
We'll
that
get
soon.
to Scepter later. I have one more cool thing to talk about, though, and it's called the Immortal Honor event. This is a new type of event coming with Year 11, and again, it's one of those, we're bridging the gap between Smite 1 and Smite 2. So the Immortal Honor event is going to last all year. It is an entire year-long event, and it's going to be 2 skins per update. That's 24 skins for those of you who are up way too late and don't want to do math. So when it launches, 2 skins. Next update, 2 skins. You get the idea, and every single one of these skins is going to be part of the Smite 2 cross-gen system. So if you get any of these skins, the moment that we kick Smite 2 in and you're on there playing and testing out the beautiful new everything, you're going to have these skins ready and waiting for you already on your account.
Cross-gen.
And we're super excited about that. So that means a lot of things. That means that there are a lot of cool skins you can get. That means there's a whole year's worth of skins you can get. But my favorite part about this, for those of you who like theory crafting, is every skin that you're going to see released is a god skin. And god skins belong to gods. So theoretically, if there's a god skin that's cross-gen for Smite 2, that means that god has to be part of the Smite 2 like opening roster, right? So as all of these skins come out, every time you see one, you'll be able to be like, confirmed Smite 2. So you'll start to get an idea of what our opening roster is going to be. So let's talk
They almost
about
had
the
to
first
cut him
2
off
skins
right
that you're
there.
gonna be able to get
They almost had to cut him off.
The first of
Sandy,
which,
you're giving it all away.
Firefly Soul.
Shut him down. Shut him down.
A really, really cool.
A really good soul skin.
Really, really cool.
Such
And
a
it's
cool
sweet that you're getting it both in Smite 1 and Smite 2
Yeah.
with this event,
Yeah,
which
dude.
is really dope.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see all of the materials in Smite 2 as well, but it looks incredible.
Sniper's
does.
got to
Smite
take
1
him
as
out,
well.
dude. Take
really
a TV.
does.
It really,
Barry?
really does. And I mean, I'm a fan of the colors. I'm a fan of like that cybernetic mesh the wings
We
are
want
made
to
out
see
of.
it in
It's just-
Smite 2.
This skin line always has a lot
We're
of
not going
power.
to see it in Smite 2 until tomorrow.
It's super cool. And again,
And then we get
this
a
is
game.
going to be part of the Smite 2 system, right? The wings and everything, so cool. Now, I told y'all already, this is a cross-gen skin. So we have a Smite 2 render of what this is going to look like when you're over there in Smite 2. Now check that out.
That skin,
Now
The
imagine
to
materials
me
just
at
pop
least,
Yeah.
like
gives off
crazy
big
in UE5.
like
And this is
predecessor
just a render,
overprime
you know?
vibes,
Imagine
which
the
is
effects that you just
awesome.
saw in Smite 2. Like all of that in Smite 2, it's going to be incredible. So
Yeah.
this
which is
one of the first
awesome.
two
Because
launching,
aesthetically,
with year
let's be
11.
real,
Next
that's
one, I
way
love this
better
one.
than Smite.
We have Blob
You know,
here,
way better.
Boy, he's a blob.
He's just
He's
a
the
little
blob.
guy.
He is the blob.
I mean, you said you wanted the blob, right?
Shout out to the Blob, the real one too.
Lucas.
So I mean,
I
Ymir,
can't
it's hard to
believe
make
they
Ymir
finally
look
put
bad. You
Lass
can
in
make
the
him look
game.
scary,
That's so
but it's hard
nice
to make
of
him look
them.
bad. And look at that friendly face, dude.
He
That
looks
is-
cute.
That is the face
Give him a
of a
little
very
hug.
kind blob. Look at him, dude.
I love the glow.
I was about to say,
I'm telling
positively glowing.
Lass.
Yes, absolutely.
That wall is just goopy.
It looks like a booger, dude. That's a booger wall.
Yeah, no rocket jump in Smite 1.
Oh
but
my god, that skin is gonna look so good in Smite 2.
So,
With all the new
super cool.
effects
The
on
sound effects are
Ymir,
so fun.
and like the
Anytime we do
rocket
blobs,
jumping
sound
and the
effects are always the
knockbacks.
best. I
Oh
want to see that
god.
ult though. Where's the blobby ult at?
It actually is making me so sad watching Ymir in Smite 1, knowing how good his effects are in Smite 2. Like, it
And of
actually makes me
course,
feel sad for him.
Smite 2 render right here.
It looks so good.
It looks so
Yeah.
good.
I want to see him explode his gelatin all over me.
Yes, this is one of the ones that you can tell the difference.
The texture as well really reads through the transparency and the glow. It just feels so magical. It feels like it's actually a bunch of blob.
I didn't say anything. You said it.
And again, I mean, y'all saw.
You
the cool
said
stuff
it, not
with
me.
you here. You
Lag,
saw this,
hello?
the wall is knocking you around. All kinds of cool stuff. So get excited for that. Get excited to play that. So with this event, again, it's a year long, and there's 3 ways you can purchase into this if you're interested in doing so. First up, we got the buy all. You know we always got the buy all. If you want to hit it for what I'm pretty sure is the best price you can get it, day one, you just click buy all, and then for the rest of the year, you are getting 2 skins
It's
every single day.
probably
You have 24
expensive.
It's technically 48 skins, because you have 24 in Smite 1,
I
24
can't
waiting for you in
imagine
Smite
it's
2.
less than
So if
like
that's what you want,
Plus
8,000
legacy gems on top of that.
Yeah,
So you're double. You're
It's
like-
gotta
legacy
be
gems. Yeah, 'cause
expensive.
you're still spending gems in Smite 1, which means you hit Smite 2, those are legacy gems for you. It's not
Dude.
like we've already
Maybe-
cut off the line.
maybe
no, they're
like
still going.
7K
there
with
you
a
go.
discount or
If
something,
if
you
you're not
know?
into it, you're like, I want to see what the skins are. You can do it in chapters. So as we continue through the year, there are going to be checkpoints, and it's like it's chapter 1, chapter 2. And
There's
so you can
no
say,
way
hey,
it's
I want
3600.
this chapter. I like all of them in this one. Chapter 1 didn't do it for
6,000
me.
gems
Grab the chapter if that's
minimum
what
with
you
the
want.
discount.
Or just buy them
Minimum.
individually. It's really up to you. You know, if you're like, oh, you know, that one's great. The other ones, I don't play those guys. That's fine. Pick the one you like. You're good to go. Doesn't matter which ones you get, though. They will all be ready when Smite 2 hits. So, super excited for that.
You'd say 8K
So
with
now
the
we get
discount
to-
rising
we
to
get go
12.
back
I
into
can see
game for
that.
something.
Oh, I'm excited.
And it's something you might have seen a couple seconds ago and might have yelled and screamed about a little bit too. Y'all wanna learn more about that comet we were showing you?
little comet action.
A little comet action, a little scepter
Would
action,
you like
maybe?
to comment
Yeah.
on the
Yeah, all right,
comment?
let's do it. Let's check it out. Oh, hey, it's Soul. I know that.
So Newt's
This is gonna get degenerate really fast.
Yeah. All right, well, you gotta break. You gotta break it. That's cool. It's like
The
golden
little rocks
experience.
give you gold and
yeah, so
XP.
essentially Newt might not be here yet, but her influence sure is.
Please
So
pronounce
as
it
you
correctly. Her name is
Comets will start
Nut.
flying across the sky.
Nut is
90
coming to
seconds
Smite.
into the
She's-
game.
There's
90
going to
seconds in,
be
that's
Nut
And so
in
they
all
will
of your
appear
games.
in
okay?
every lane throughout the match, but one lane at a time, and you'll be able to fight over them with your lane opponents. They get damaged by basic attacks, and once you break it, there will be an interceptor awaiting whoever will stand there.
The last in the circle.
So each little chunk will give you 3 experience and 5 gold. So it does give you some
Respectable.
marginal advantage for being the one with the pressure enough in lane to be able to collect those chunks. They'll
Got
pop
it.
off in your direction.
Yeah,
whenever you
soul
basic
buffs,
attack them, so it
woo!
won't go towards your enemy.
Okay.
But enemies, if you basic attack it, enemies can pick up the chunks that you create.
It's a lot harder for the jungler to invade this camp
And then
now.
once the scepter
On both sides.
the scepter will last for 90 seconds.
A lot
and in
harder.
Conquest, 30 seconds after a comet is killed,
A lot harder.
new one will spawn.
Actually.
They are different lanes.
They are showing up.
They are frequent, right. So
Got it.
you'll be able to move from lane to lane if you're support, helping out, grabbing those comets. It's really added this fun new dynamic where, I didn't see a comet until the 4th or 5th one. I wish I would have gotten it earlier, or I'm getting tons of comets in my lane, and it's forcing me to fight a lot.
Okay.
It's
Some
been
arts.
really, really fun to play around.
Yeah, well,
I
tell
like
you,
the
as
changing
a
of the
jungler, I'm looking
position
for that mini-map
of
icon
the,
right
the
away.
side
I am
camps.
slamming it down to that lane
Because it's going to be
there's
more
some fun to
dependent
fight
now
over, man.
on
And it's got the
lane
monetary
pressure
reward, it's
and
got the
less on
clear
jungle
reward as
pressure.
well. It's
that's
really everything that
way
you could
out
want
of
as
position
an
for
objective
jungle.
fight over.
That's way
in
further
the
away.
literal middle of the lane.
The literal.
Plus, you could get
Okay,
trapped
that's
in there
all
if you're not
So I have
careful,
two
by like a
questions
counter
about this.
jungler
First
too.
of which, what game modes are we seeing the comment?
Oh, all of them.
Yes.
All
Of course.
That's a comment in every game mode. Okay. Does that mean the scepter's in every game mode?
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa, that's a lot of scepter.
Yep.
So the second one, and this is important for me, is what happens if you're standing under it when it lands?
You will take damage.
You'll take some
And get
damage.
knocked back.
You get knocked back.
And
so
get knocked back? Okay.
don't get bonked on the head by the comet.
Don't get bonked on the head. All right. I am issuing a challenge to anybody who likes playing solo lane.
to the comet.
I guess more
Praise
Gilgamesh
me.
in general. If I ever see a clip of a Gilgamesh
Oh.
kick into a comet land for a god kill, I don't know what I can give you, but I'll give you
I
something.
would be impressed.
Some gems could happen.
I will hype you up because that'd be a play. So take this as a challenge for me.
yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
So we'll be back to Conquest in just a
Comet
second.
kills are gonna be
We have some
excellent.
other game modes to talk about. Starting with Duel. Now, Duel's kind of gotten this system going that I think y'all should really dive into.
Yeah, exactly. So in 1013, we introduced a new system that banned out the top 25% of gods in Duel. And so far, the reception has been incredible. It really seems like the meta has shaken up a lot. We're seeing a lot of new gods that we never really got a chance to see before in Duel. And so we're really, really happy with that whole idea. But of course, it's not going to stay the current way that it is forever. It's going to get some changes, shift up between patch to patch. So for this patch specifically, we are employing the kind of strategy to take a look at 1013 and what gods did really well in 1013. So we'll be taking the top 12 of those guys and we'll be pulling them into a new ban system. So we've got new bans.
We got a
to talk
graphic
about.
we can show for that.
Pretty simple here. The top 12 gods in this new Duel format were these 12 on your screen.
Right here, the ones you can
16,
see.
I'm sorry, 16.
Or 16, excuse me.
That's
the top
even
16.
more. That's 4 more.
These gods will now be banned in Duel in 11.1.
Bye-bye.
The bottom 16 gods that were previously banned in the last pass will be unbanned.
They're coming back? Okay.
Those will be now available in Duel in 11.1. These on your screen here.
Hercules one.
And we're
Interesting.
leaving
And
the top
Zomfree.
16 gods, the best 16 gods in the game, and 12, 12, and or 10, 12, and before
Got it.
will remain banned. These are the types of things we will be doing for each
Still
update
banned.
in year 11, where we are going to be. It's not
Those-
just going to
that's the
always
most
be this
important
exact same
thing.
rotation.
As long
It's gonna
as
be the
that
exact same
page
list most
is
of the time,
banned,
but
it makes
rotating
Duel a
this
lot
Duel
more
ban
fun,
list
in
order
my
to try and
opinion.
keep that
As long
mode
as
feeling a
that
little bit more
page
fresh.
exists.
Yes, and the important thing is we really want to recognize the tiers of gods as well, because you could argue that these gods that are remaining banned, these are like the S tier Duel characters. So essentially, our strategy is going to change throughout the year of how we're rotating through these S tier characters, because we understand there are some Hu Yi mains, some Anher mains, people that love to play Kali, Bakasura, whatever it is. We want you guys to still be able to play that, but we want to make sure that it's not going to be overwhelmingly only S tiers back in case you still want to.
They're
ban
gonna
them
like
with your
slowly
12 bans
drip
throughout the
like
whole
4
Duel phase.
S tiers in at a time, and then those are just gonna get perma banned
Joust is
anyway.
nice.
So
I like saying
just like
super
they're not
cool.
even
It's
get
kinda-
dripped
I'm
in.
hearing
You know?
it the more I say it. So next up we have the
I like
Joust
it.
map. And the Joust map has kind of a short and sweet change, I think.
Nice and simple. For year 11, Joust will be on the Jade Corruption map.
Jade Corruption is
So
back. Jade Corruption fans out there?
Should be something that our fans are pretty excited about. This
Yeah,
is one
it's
of
a
our
good
more
map.
popular maps, and we're excited to see the Joust ranked queues be thrown down there.
Yeah,
Be
the important thing to
thrown.
talk about here, though, is that we made a lot of changes to the Sky
All
Joust map
12
that help
people
deal
that
with
play
the
Joust ranked.
anti-tank meta that we were not necessarily.
It's one of the
anti-meta,
most
but
unpopular
dealing with
modes in the
double
game.
tank meta by introducing some
Well, fun
anti-tank
facts.
features. So what you'll see is a lot of those features have been ported over to this map. So we'll see a new Void Camp that's going to be providing some anti-tank, as well as updating all of the existing buffs, including the red buff and the blue buff, and the speeds, remaining the same because there's no speed on the other map.
Yeah.
But everybody's getting a little bit of update. The tower, as well, is still going to be doing protection shredding when you get hit by it. So these features that really help to diversify the duel, or sorry, not duel meta. We were just talking about duel meta, but Joust meta on a different map is going to be remaining. And also, by the way, I guess we should mention that Duel is staying on the Sky map.
There you go.
Yes.
In the skies. So awesome. Now we're moving on to
Awesome.
Conquest. Conquest has
This is big.
a lot of changes, and y'all were able to tour some of those again with the keynote and with some of the stuff that's happening. But we're gonna dive in and talk about some of these really cool things you can expect to use and play with as part of year 11.
Yeah,
And,
a lot of map changes here for your Conquest. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're completely right.
just
So,
pumped.
I mean, first off, we always got to talk. Every year, the map gets a little bit of a change in its looks. So let's start off by talking about that. What has changed visually about the Conquest?
The biggest change
Static.
you'll see is, of course, random things across the map have gotten a bit of freshening up. But the big picture changes are all about the bases. We love to talk about the bases because that's where that's where you end up at the end of the game, right? You got to look at something pretty when you're winning, or hopefully not losing your matches. So first thing that's changing is the order.
What is
base.
winning
We had
like?
A nice, kind
Anybody
of
know what that
interior
looks like?
space, which is really cool to see. But we're opening it up a bit. We want to have the night sky be available to everyone to look at, right?
Yeah.
Because of course,
No?
Newt's
I
on the
don't
way.
Something
know.
on
Never heard of it.
So we're seeing a lot more kind of celestial influence. The kind of cloth material going through all of the different bases are going to be a little more emphasized. And then, of course, over on the Chaos side, I'm sure you guys saw it. There's a gigantic lava fall.
The lava fall.
It's excellent. It's so cool.
So cool. And I think one of the best ways to talk about this stuff is to start seeing it in game. So we're going to dive into the map, keep your eyes open for the basins and for some of the changes. But we're going to start talking about some of the camps now. So first up, we just got a camp that's moved around. We have the green buff and the chest camp.
Yes, so previously, green buff and chest camps were not where they are right now. They were
Okay,
swapped.
so they did a little flippy
in
floppy.
Year 11, we have swapped the
A
location
little
of the green
flippy
buff
floppy.
and the chest camp. This
Oh,
puts
flippy
green buff
floppy.
a little bit
Okay.
closer to the duo lane, makes that easier for the support to go and grab while remaining in duo.
Should
which
be
is something we've seen more
easier
and more
to
of as year 10 has
invade
continued.
the
The
comeback
supports have wanted to stay in
mechanic
lane.
with
Now it'll be a little bit easier for them to do so, which should be really
little bit
fun.
harder to
the
steal
green camp
the,
will also
supports
spawn the
buff.
roaming harpies just like they have been in year 10. But because it was the gold camp, we didn't want those, coming into lane, going underneath your tower, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. So this next part, super, super cool. I'm excited about this one. We all know Chester.
Super!
Cyclops Rogue hiding in a
there he
box in
is.
the jungle.
Hey.
There he is. So Chester apparently has a friend who does something a little different than provide you some speed.
Yeah, so we've got Chester 1 and Chester 2.
Chester
essentially.
1?
They're our
Chester
boys.
2.
We love them.
Yep.
So essentially, every so often, there will be a new version of Chester that shows up. So this one first here that you're seeing, same as always, movement speed in the area, and they'll still spawn in the same kind of mechanism where it's going to be equal across both sides. But the movement speed's not the exciting part. There's a new option instead of movement speed that you might see, and we're calling this the Jungle Shop. So very similar volume here that you'll see, but instead of this yellow circle, it will be a purple circle, and inside of it, you'll be able to buy anything from the item shop.
Lass can
It's an item shop in
finally
the jungle.
buy items. That's so nice.
As long as you can afford it.
Yeah, as long as you have the money for it.
Exactly.
You gotta have
so
that.
it won't regen your HP or mana like a fountain.
Yeah, it's not the fountain.
It won't refill your chalices like returning to the fountain. But how often are we stuck in lane? There's so
Love
much
it.
fighting going on, but we really want to just pop,
Love it.
buy an item real quick.
Yeah,
And then
refresh
come back
the
to
wards.
fight.
That's pretty
something.
dope.
Refresh your wards, anything like that. Now with the jungle shop, you can just.
Chonga's
you're
looking
in your
around like-
jungle, you've gotten enough for your Jotuns. You buy it. You keep on rolling. It is really, really potent to be able to upgrade on the fly like this.
Yeah.
And so we did make sure that it is completely symmetrical, just like the Cyclops camps have always been,
And predictable.
and predictable. So it alternates. Excuse me, they have to break it. You have to break it.
You have to break it.
You gotta break it. Nice, it's broken. Excellent.
Excellent.
So it's predictable, like Lermy said. So
Yeah.
your first Chester camp
What's that?
is a speed buff.
Totem!
We got Totem. Excellent.
So yeah, speed buff.
Speed buff. Well, the next one will be a jungle shop.
Got
If
it.
the last one was a jungle shop, the next one will be a speed buff.
Okay,
that
so it
will
rotates.
always alternate on both sides.
Got it.
The best part about it is it just keeps the flow going, right?
Yeah.
Back
Yep.
into base is kind of
Alright.
the lamest part of my job, as a jungler. If I gotta stop at some point and I gotta go back to base, it gives you a little bit of a reset, right? But you also just want to stay in the action, keep fighting, get those stacking items rolling, get those relic quests going at the same time, right? So this is just gonna keep you in the flow of action. That's what I was trying to say there.
There you go.
Going too fast.
Awesome. I mean, that's super cool, and I'm looking forward to those jungle games where somebody's like, bro, I never even went back to the fountain, I didn't die, I just bought in the jungle, like, we're good. So I'm gonna be trying that at least. It
Okay.
won't work, but I'm gonna try it once or twice. So next up, cooldown and shield camp. I hear that they're not exactly where they used to be.
Have you seen this map? You see anything different about this map? On the sides,
It seems
perhaps?
just a little bit wider,
Maybe, yeah, like there's something going on the
Yeah, a little-
outside
Just a
edges
little
of the map.
thick. Anything a
potentially.
Slim
Just a little
Man
bit.
can do.
Cooldown and shield,
You can do
previously
better.
we're in that little corridor right before you got into lane. Something else is there now that impossible for us to say exactly what that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
right here. They,
Don't know what that is.
What could it
their,
be?
their house got taken over by whatever that is.
By a
so
cool
they had
floor.
to
Spoiler,
go to
it's a
different part of
teleporter.
town,
They told
which
us
is this
yesterday.
outer edge, but it's very nice out here. You get
Me.
this guy peeking at you the whole time. But this is now the new area for the shield and the cooldown camps. So should be a little bit, it's been a very fun area to fight around, just adds a different dynamic to the laning phase, and we think people are gonna really like it. Wait a minute, that's the shield buff. It's so good, but
so
now
good.
it's not in the same spot.
That's weird. And
It's on the outer edge now.
in the spot where it was, there will be some Nagas for a little while when the game starts. Just fierce
Oh,
Nagas, you can slay them, get XP.
teleport.
But then after 8 minutes, you have this floor here. What does this scary,
Zing.
mysterious floor do?
Well, if you just stand on it and all these align,
Wait.
we
Oh, no, we're in
are in
solo.
solo buff.
You're on the other side of the map now.
Yeah, it's the teleporters.
It's the teleporters. We have
Can't
teleporters
wait
now.
to get ganked
New
on cooldown.
teleporters on the Conquest map. So like
Can't
Harrison
wait.
said, pre-8 minutes, you're not going to be able to use these. They're going to be taken
Can't
up by
wait to hear
non-camps
Last
or
screaming
Farmable,
every single
Golden
day about
Experience
getting
junglers.
ganked by the
Go
sub
get
later.
them.
Why is
Then
this so
after 8
late
minutes, You
here?
can stand on the teleporter after a short channel time. You will be teleported. You and anyone who is on the teleporter with you.
I can already
on
hear
that
it now.
platform. At that time,
can
even
already
if they
hear
have
it now.
just stepped onto it,
Think of it like horse assault.
Kind of like a horizontal.
much like a horror assault, will be
There's
teleported
four!
over to the other side.
Why is
of
it
the map.
always four?
Looks pretty quick too. The across the map jump.
It goes quickly, for sure. You can see a debuff there on the bottom right that's counting down around 70 seconds. That's the debuff until you can
Oh
use
yeah, the level
teleporter
13
again.
Arthur
You can't
dude
just pop
walking
back and
in,
forth,
just
side to
teleporting
side
right
over and
behind
over and
you.
over again.
Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it!
Necessary
Woo!
intermission.
Yeah. The scepter is back. All right, we can keep going. Scepter's back.
Now you can get back and forth, make a play on the duo side, teleport over, do fire,
Yeah.
things like that.
It's almost like I'm
There's
there.
also a very loud warning sound, and you are revealed on the minimap whenever that happens. So
Yes.
if you're
Not
paying
even much when you teleport, right? Anytime you're standing on this pad,
Right.
you'll be revealed, right? That's why it's
One
so
guy
important that
hates
all this other space
those
around
meteors.
it. It's only the gray area with the purple stripes in it. That's what's going to reveal
Oh
you if
yeah,
you're standing
putting
on
a
it.
trap
Every other
ward
space
right
is
on that
safe there.
teleporter,
if
so
you're
the
trying
second
to
they
gank,
teleport
kinda
in,
get a little
they get
invade on
slowed
the
and you
purple
get
buff,
vision,
be a
would be
little bit
dope.
careful about where you're standing.
That'd be
Same
dope.
idea in solo lane. Just watch where you're standing, or else the enemy's going to see you.
and potentially hear you as
Yeah.
well because of that loud sound, and that should give you some good warning that
here we go.
something's going on.
Oh, a
Let's check in
meteor
like this
killed
week.
their
wonder
mother.
what
That
chest
is
this
sad.
is.
You're right.
Purple.
There it is. So now
That
you
is
can
sad.
open
It's the
up your
item shop in the jungle.
buy your brawler's beat stick. Doug is particularly rich in this instance, so he
true.
could buy a lot of items, but you
Yeah.
can use it as many times as you want while it's up as well.
Long
And
as
they're
it's
active
open.
for 60 seconds.
You have 1 minute, so it's quick shopping.
You guys
Wow.
are just bullying Doug. and
We have
doing
so
what you
many
want.
new relics, and you're leaving without a. How about we get the new one?
Yeah, we could get Divine Barrier. kinda
Divine Barrier might be a
show
pretty
what it
cool
looks
relic.
like.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, let's see what it looks like now. That's a big barrier.
That's a thick
That's 40 units.
Very wide, like we
Very
said.
wide.
Really good at cutting off a choke point. Any enemy
That
basic
is
attacks that
a
pass through
thickum.
that,
Less damage.
dealing less damage. Your basic attacks that are passing through that, dealing more damage.
And a slow if they try to chase you. If you're running away in the jungle, like maybe you didn't quite steal that fire giant, throw up the wall and bail. They have to walk through it. They're like, nah, not today.
And this is incredibly good in sieging, too. You just throw this in front of your tower,
Yep.
and they're going to be doing less damage to it.
Yep. You can jump over it. It's like a Giannis threshold.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
You can jump over it to not get slowed, things like that. But
Yeah.
it works pretty well for those types of engagements.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so we have a lot of
Barrier
comment
their
lovers now, some
barrier.
Scepter fans. Anybody like the Beacon? The Beacon cool?
It changed
Yeah,
beacon?
a little bit cool? Okay. I've asked y'all a lot of questions. I'm sorry. So the Beacon is still here, but it is not the same Beacon you know. The Beacon has had some changes.
Yeah, so essentially, the last year since we introduced the beacon back in the Season of Souls, it had one pretty clear purpose of unleashing the Titans.
Yeah.
Titans are tired now.
Thank
They
God.
fought a lot.
They're going to hang out in the base for now.
Yes,
But instead
thank
of
you.
unleashing the Titans, there's a brand new reward for capping the beacon, and this is the Stygian Barrage.
That's nice.
Okay, that's an intimidating name. What does the Stygian Barrage do?
Well, you see all those pesky enemy towers that are kind of in your way.
Huh. That
Yeah.
has less health now.
The Stygian Barrage will deal damage to all, or the
Hell
first
yeah.
available enemy structures.
They're
I
Active
like that.
Exactly. The tier 1's up, it'll deal damage
I
to tier
like
1.
that
If
a
the tier
lot.
2
That's
is
a
the
legitimately
furthest
good
one up,
objective.
then it will deal damage
I
to
like
tier
that.
2.
And even to the Phoenixes.
And even to the Phoenixes.
Nice. Kill the meteor!
All right,
Kill it for his
All
mom!
right. There we go. Good.
They stay ready for the
They stay
comments,
ready.
for sure. So that damage will increase as you cap more and more beacons. So that didn't deal a lot of damage right now, but by the time you're firing off the third Stygian Barrage, it will deal significantly more damage to those structures.
I like
And
the
it can
fighting over the
kill
totem.
Towers. It can be a way to
can just
clear out
finish
the
them
way, never hit a tower, but get
I'll
all
be
the
get
beacons.
last hits. That's
Maybe you can
a
deal enough
very
damage to take one
viable
down.
objective
It
to
will
fight
not,
over,
however,
you
kill
know?
Phoenixes. It can put them to very low
Okay.
HP.
Can't kill a Phoenix.
But fire minions are such a potent, advantage.
Okay.
Making your Titan exposed is so scary. we didn't want
Okay.
to have you
Okay.
not have to be there in order to kill a Phoenix. You're
That's
going to
fair.
have to put yourself in at least somewhat of a dangerous
fair.
position
Yeah.
to do so.
I mean, having a Phoenix down opens up the win condition for the other team, right? So we wanted to make
Right.
sure they still had to earn it a little bit. Phoenixes won't go under 10% health, even if they get hit by a Stygian barrage that would kill them.
The
Yep.
base looks dope.
That's super cool. So you mentioned that it stacks. Is it if I am the team that gets it all 3 times, I have the best zaps, or does it just keep stacking as you
It just
capture?
gets increased no matter who gets the beacon.
Okay.
It's just always going up to that third stack, and then it will continue to do that third level of damage indefinitely.
As long as there are things to zap. So cool. That means first one, maybe you're not ready to leave lane. You don't fight about it as much.
Yeah.
By that third one though, that's a team fight. That's a team fight on site. So
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
super awesome. I
like
always
it.
like the beacon because I like the
Can't
like,
wait for my team not
time
to
go
show up
fight the
for it.
mid lane. So super excited.
And then complain that
Last
they're
but
getting
not
dove
least,
into
we
tier
can't
2 because
not
they don't
talk
have a tier
about
1
the
anymore.
rock
When they
star
were,
of
and now
the
the thing that
Conquest
killed their
map,
tower.
the Fire Giant.
Of course.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Fire Giants,
ready.
I mean, the Titans are a little bit sleepy. They don't want to get unleashed anymore, but the Fire Giant is just getting started still. So he has a brand new attack for year 11 called Firefall. It'll be a giant beam of light that comes down from the sky and follows the targeted god until the move is over, knocking up all gods in the area if it expires. So it'll be in the flow of the typical Fire Giant fight, but it'll be this really cool, I think it was shown off in the keynote a little bit as well.
It was.
When you get that Firefall animation. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's partway through. It's a bit of an extended engagement here as this poor Ratatosker tries to solo the Fire
Oh,
Giant.
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
So it'll track you around and then knock up anyone who's around you whenever it's done. So
Cool.
you can use this to do some pretty
Little
special
laser
things.
beam.
And what's that?
Set up. Oh,
That's weird. That wasn't there before.
it's like a little totem.
Very healthy looking
An
rock.
effigy, you might say.
Some would say an effigy. What? Tell us all about the effigy here, Lem.
Yes, so the effigy is now a new feature that spawns when the Fire Giant hits 85% of its health. The effigy has 750 health and no protections, and it can be damaged by both basic attacks and abilities. When the effigy is destroyed, the Fire Giant takes 15% more damage from all sources. So be careful when you're killing it, because that includes your enemies too.
Yeah.
Yes, it just
Okay,
exposes
okay.
the Fire Giant to taking more damage, so it's a great way to
Interesting.
burn it down, things like that. But I think
Interesting.
the coolest part of this is trying to really get that raid boss feeling for the Fire Giant.
Yeah.
Its own attacks damage these effigies. So if you can pull the fire knockup into where that effigy is, it will destroy it and end up making it take more damage during that time.
Okay.
I mean, we got it.
It's broken. All right. Well, we talked a lot of Conquest. There's a lot of really cool changes, and I think I always love seeing these changes when we play test them. And when I'm
Interesting.
learning about them from these two, because like these two are teaching me stuff
So
all
far,
the time.
everything
But I think
seems
my
pretty
favorite way to
cool.
see them is when we let y'all.
Some things are scary, but nothing that seems like-
That's the fun part.
Yeah,
dumb.
y'all always find stuff to do that
Maybe the
I would never
teleport
think
is
of,
the
and it's
closest
always
thing to
super
being
cool.
dumb,
I'm on
but-
Twitter scrolling clips, being like, bro,
It's still
I'm about to go
encouraging
try that on my
PvP,
Conquest
which is
game.
nice,
So,
I guess.
super excited for all of y'all to see this tomorrow with the Year 11 show match, but also to get your hands on it as we move into Year 11 later this month. So we have one more thing to talk about, one more piece of content, and it's kind of the evolution of battle passes going into Year 11. So because we have all this cross-gen stuff going, we wanted to kind of change the way that our battle passes have worked. For Year 10, they were much bigger. They lasted longer, they had more levels, they were huge. But Year 11 is going to be a little different. First of all, I'm going to say this again, every single skin in these is going to be part of the cross-gen system. So not only does that mean that you'll get both of them, Smite 1 and Smite 2, whenever you have them, but that also means that this falls under that like, oh, Battle Pass skin, that confirmed God for Smite 2 roster, so you can keep your eyes on that. The way that they are changing is that we're now calling them cross-gen passes. They're going to be a lot shorter, but they're only going to last for one update. So every single update, we will have a new cross-gen pass, and if you would like to, if you want it, if you buy it, you will get, or work towards getting, you got to complete it, of course, because it's a pass. You're going to get the 2 new skins for every different pass, every update that will be, again, both in Smite 1 and Smite 2, which is cool. It's basically 4 skins for every single one that you actually partake in. So it's a really, really cool system.
I can't
And
wait to show
it's just-
chat
it's
my
kind of our way
foreskins.
of keeping things fresh, of changing things every update and following this update to update flow. So we're excited about them. Now to get into the skins that you can look forward to seeing, we have 2 of them, starting with Blighthound Anubis. Anubis.
See, I'm showing you one of them. This is one of my 4 skins.
Very dope.
Very dope.
Yeah, this skin is scary, cool, intimidating, epic, awesome, amazing.
All of the above.
All of the above. A lot of check boxes. So,
Oh, gotta be.
like with all of these, worth going in game to see. Look at the cloak, dude.
I know.
Like the, or
We
like
actually
the,
have brand new tech for this that
I
that
wanna
was
see it
pioneered
in
very
Smite
recently.
2.
And this has some custom going
All
on
of these
in
skins,
the-
I'm
in
like,
the engine
yeah,
here.
they're
So
cool, but
this
my
is very
brain,
different than other cloth
my
builds that
brain
get
is like
moves
broken now.
procedurally with however
Like,
you're
yeah,
moving. If
it's
you're
cool
jumping, it
in
jumps
Smite 1,
alongside
but,
you.
like,
If you're
I
going
just-
left, it's also going that direction as well. So it'll really feel a lot more realistic.
My brain.
I mean, to me, it is always so awesome how, I love that I get to say this now, 'cause I've been thinking it for a lot of patch notes. Our team has been working tirelessly on Smite 2. They've made so much progress on Smite 2 in a completely new engine. And at the same time, like Lermy just said, they're still pioneering tech in Smite's original engine, in Unreal 3. Like, we just made a new simulator for cloth to follow around, and like, the fact that we can innovate in so many different spaces,
Quadra kill.
I will never stop being proud of our team. So like,
I
please,
will
a round of
say,
applause for how amazing the Titan
having
team
been
is.
behind
They
the scenes
deserve
with
it.
some of the
Cheers
devs,
to everybody. Thank
they've
you.
talked about how much
I mean,
easier
honestly, my
it
job
is to
I
do
can talk about
things
how
in
awesome
Unreal
they are,
5
I
and
would
how
feel
much
so bad if they
easier
didn't
their
get that.
life is.
So,
They're like, it's
we have one more skin.
It's not even close.
That's hard.
they're like trying to make stuff for
we have to
Smite is
check
like
out
playing
the
it on
Smite 2
super
render
hard mode,
reviews,
and Unreal
yeah.
5 is like playing it on easy mode. They're like, it's
Look
just
at that,
everything is so much easier. Look how much better that is. It's so much
sick.
better.
So sick.
I just love the emissives going on here, the glows,
Yeah.
and the eyes, and the skull. It just really brings it to life, man.
It really does.
Really does. Man, dude, I am so excited. Myself, I'm so excited to like get in and start playing with these in Smite 2, because it's going to be really cool. So we have one other skin to talk about with the new cross-gen pass, and that's Dawn Spirit Yamoja. Yamoja confirmed Smite 2.
Yamoja confirmed Smite 2. How about that?
It's a
so
very
cool.
new look,
Interesting.
Yeah,
I
this
didn't
is
think
one of
she
my
was gonna make
favorites from
the
this update
early
for sure.
cut.
Little
Yeah.
puffball friends. It's just.
Bro, her abilities are gonna look dope.
They're just hanging out.
And
Dope.
all, like, you know, all the birds. the
All right,
spirit
all right, all
birds.
right.
So let's
So cool.
let's look at it in game.
The colors just
Interesting.
pop, and that's in Unreal 3. Like,
Yeah.
imagine what it's going to be doing in Unreal 5.
Oh, imagine what the
Imagine.
water is going to look like.
I know.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's gonna be incredible, but this
It's gonna
this skin itself
actually look
already
like
is
water, dude.
incredible,
It's gonna
and
be
you can
so
really tell.
cool.
I love that like
It's gonna
pink
be
to
so
blue kind
cool.
of pastel vibe. It's so nice. It's almost calming in a weird way.
Yeah. She'll be crushing me, but it'll be in a vibe way.
Yeah,
You know?
crushing splat. Right? Thank you. Man, I'm loving being up here. Right?
What's up, Drew?
It's pink
Not right
lemonade,
now.
actually.
Not right
Delicious.
now.
Yeah, absolutely delicious. So
It does look a little
super
yummy,
cool.
huh?
Yamoja
I
confirmed
love
Smite 2.
Yep.
And
That's
man, just so cool for it. Of course, you get to see the Smite 2 render. We already confirmed it. Might as well show you what it looks like. So, and it's just.
This
Right?
one, the texture really shines.
Yes.
You can tell the difference between each kind of
can.
cloth that Yamoja's wearing. You can really see the kind of boniness of the horns. It really does give you the texture that you're really looking for. And I mean, the little puffball guys are so cute too.
Yeah.
They got
Yes.
even cuter.
And then, like you said, you have the water effects that are going to be, you know, handled in UE5. You have the lighting that's going to be in the map, which is already looking so cool.
They all
People know it's
kinda
gonna
like
look, but,
portals.
It's
Porro,
incredible.
porro.
So I look forward to seeing this stuff as we continue
I can't wait to
forward.
play it.
I super
up,
agree.
Sark?
It's, I mean, and again,
She's
so
horny.
That is
I'm-
the cross-gen pass, the first of, 12 that you'll see, one for every update throughout the year, as we continue on this Smite Year 11 journey. And we've talked about a lot of stuff here. Like, how excited are y'all two for Smite Year 11?
Can't wait. I think
It's
that,
been
these changes, we just kind of sat up here and talked about them so much that it's hard to really grasp how it feels whenever you're playing it in game. But in particular, I think the relic changes and getting those upgrades gradually
say
throughout the
anything.
game
I'll say it.
automatically changes so much about how the game feels and has really added a lot to how it feels. So I'm really excited about it.
So
The relics themselves also are going to be really fun too.
There's
because
basically
you
they're
get
saying there's going to be a lot more battle
improved
passes
and
this year.
changed
There's basically
relics
one
beyond
battle
that. So
pass a
hitting
month
those
is what it's
tier
looking
threes
like
is gonna
for
be more
season
fun
11
than ever
Smite.
for so many different kinds of characters.
Yep. Well, kicking off a new year is always a wild time. I'm obviously super excited about it. So that's how they feel. How do y'all feel about Smite Year 11? Okay. I'm liking it. They sounded more excited. They did better. Y'all did better. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's
So-
fair.
Well, cool. So we went over a lot. Smite 2 is on the horizon. Smite Year 11 is here, but you know, we're just so excited. I couldn't be more excited. I keep saying excited because I am jazzed. I was backstage, pacing, super happy. So yeah, I guess, you know, I think we have a little bit more time. You want to talk about dive into a few items while we're still sitting up here?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got
of
a
course.
couple to go through.
Again, we're not going to go over everything. Y'all got update notes for that. But we got a few that we thought would be cool to talk about. Starting with just getting into items. So Mannequin Scepter and kind of that line. What's going on there?
Yeah, so essentially we wanted to do a slight pass on the jungle starter. So for the longest time, Mannequin Scepter has had a basic attack-oriented passive.
Yeah, no
but
god
the item itself had
changes
protections
mentioned.
on it.
I
Meanwhile,
doubt that there's
I,
no
the
god
jungle,
balance, and maybe
a
they just don't want to go over it
protection-oriented
on
passive.
stream because they've
But
got to
that's
get
the
to
one with attack
Worlds.
speed.
Would
So
be
we're
my
doing a little
hypothesis.
swap-a-rooney here. We've got attack speed on mannequins now.
Okay.
And instead, on
Remove
Eye
the
of Jungle,
protections,
we
gave
get
it attack
protections.
speed.
Got it. And so that, I assume, plays into as you
Interesting.
evolve up?
Of course,
Okay.
yep. Yeah, Mannequin's Hidden Blade going to be doing something very similar.
Okay.
Mannequin Mace doing something very similar. This is just
Interesting.
making it a little bit more in line with what those Tier 3 upgrades want you to do as well. So it
Exactly.
should be pretty interesting. I mean, Mannequins has been relegated to the doldrums for a while because of its warrior jungle potential. So we'll have
Yeah.
to see if this makes it a little bit more appealing for the
Certainly a nerf
Arachnes,
on
the
Protector of the
Baptisuras,
Jungle, for
wanting
sure.
those
Certainly a
basic
nerf.
attack
Still is more
oriented
expensive
builds.
as well.
Exactly. You know,
Okay.
it still has those downsides.
Got it. All right. So let's talk Shogun's Kusari next.
I mean, this is going to be a group of items.
Yeah,
up next,
that's true.
right?
It is a
So
group of items.
Yeah.
We've read the Reddit threads. We've
Remove the
skimmed
cooldown.
through. We understand that there is a lot of cooldown in Smite right now.
Mm-hmm.
So these next couple of items that you're going to see, we are removing cooldown from essentially 4 items
Okay.
Yep.
across the board. We wanted to
Removing
hit the different
cooldown.
niches
That's
across
fair.
the board as
That's
well.
fair.
So
Yeah.
you'll see
There is
a
way
tanky
too
item
much
like Shogun's
CDR. I
Kusari is the
concur.
one that's losing cooldown, gaining
I
attack speed
concur.
instead. This is on the actual item stat itself as well. So the user of Shogun's Kusari is getting a little bit extra beyond the aura itself.
Got
And
it.
then up next we have Transcendence, which
Yeah.
is instead, this is maybe the biggest one out of all of them, to be honest with
Oh!
you. You're getting 10 physical penetration.
It's getting pen, and you can
instead
stack it by
Alright.
fighting.
Transcendence hits a little
Some
bit. Okay.
flat pen to help maybe compete with Devourers. Gauntlets Devourers has been really, really meta for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
Transcendence hasn't really been able to match that. Again, in an effort to remove some of that cooldown, as we've heard the feedback that it's too present in every build, it's too
Yeah.
easy to get, taking it out of some of these items here.
Hey.
Awesome. I mean, that sounds cool. So gods are next up. We have a few of those that we kind of want to highlight. And, well, I guess actually I jumped the gun a little bit. Potion of Power? Same
Yeah.
thing, right? Just
Yep.
Yeah, so for our
Exactly.
magical DPS item is what we had Pythax.
Yeah,
that was just getting a
Pythax.
bit of a shift.
Cool.
It's also getting the lifesteal treatment.
No
so we're
cooldown
skipping
on that
all
is
of it.
actually
But Potion of
hugely
Power is the
important
fun one,
because it
right?
affects builds
So
like crazy. That's actually
you're
very
building,
important.
Right, you're getting to the end of the game.
Yep.
You've got that extra 500 saved up, but you've already built 40% cooldown.
Yep,
yeah,
I
you're
like that.
stacked, you're
I've
there.
wasted my cooldown. Or, either way.
How many
you're building
times did we
30%, and you're
build
like, yes,
specifically
I got my 40%
30%
last,
because
I'm
we
having a
knew we
great
were gonna
time,
have a Potion
but
of
then
Power?
I run out of Potion of Power, and I don't have 40%.
It's a little bit too
anymore.
much min-maxing.
So no more
I
of this
feel like.
managing this extra cooldown. Instead, it's going to be a little bit of extra penetration again, and you might see double pen and go, oh my gosh, that seems like a lot, right?
Yeah.
This is the end of the game. This is going to be the point where you really want to be getting through to those squishy characters if you are a damage dealer.
It's
or if you're just
really,
DPS versus
really
DPS,
hard
it's
to
gonna be helping
overcap
out
on
against
flat pen.
towers, objectives.
Really
anything that's gonna
hard.
have a lot of prots, it's going to just speed up.
Unless
the
you're
end of the
like
game.
a
And again, you're
Thoth
not
who
gonna
has
have to
it
play that
built
game
in.
of what cooldown
know?
percentage am I actually?
Yeah. Awesome. So, like you said, I skipped around a little bit. Reading is really hard, actually. And Pythags.
Yeah, Pythags is the other one that's losing some cooldown reduction. You know, it was obviously the centerpiece of a very hot topic build in the Mage solo build.
was,
so
it was.
removing its cooldown reduction, giving it a little bit more base power and a little bit more base HP in order to compensate.
And that's on top of the lifesteal changes that I got earlier as well.
Correct,
A
correct.
lot of
yes.
changes, a lot of tweaks.
Yep.
All right, so now we're jumping into Godland, and Fafnir getting a little bit of a touch.
Yeah, Fafnir is one that we've seen a little bit so far this weekend, but not
Yeah.
too much.
much.
And again, these are not all the item changes or all the god changes.
By
There's
far, not
These
all
are just a small little tidbit.
Yeah, this is just a little bit.
Fafnir Coerce, increasing that self-heal. This is something that at first was just a little bit of a, it's there, but you don't really
We
feel
can
it.
go over
We
all
want
of
you to
the
actually feel this coerced
patch
self-buff.
notes. We'll do that tomorrow morning
I mean, yeah,
before
that's awesome.
Worlds.
He's a greedy guy.
He's a
Like,
greedy
he
guy.
wants more for himself.
A little more
Exactly.
healing for me.
95
We'll
health
do a
rank
full
5, when
review
that's-
on stream.
Not a lot.
That's not very much. That's
No.
not a lot.
So we can
More
see all the
healing
little
for
stuff.
me. All right, so Merlin. I love Merlin. Got all
this
the
is exciting.
different elements and changes. So what is exciting with Merlin?
So Merlin's been a little off and on, right? He's just
That's fair.
a very solid all-rounder, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult for him, especially to kind of transition to that point where he is out there spamming abilities, doing all that good stuff that you
Yeah.
want to be doing as Merlin. So this buff specifically is for his early game, just allowing those high-skill players to be able to swap stances more often and be able to use fire into ice or ice into arcane or whatever combo that
get
you want
those
to
combos
use.
out.
It's going to be a lot easier for you to
Merlin
transition
buff,
into them
okay.
and out of
Okay.
them.
At least
throughout
early
the
game.
Awesome. I mean, love the stance changing. That's
Okay.
the most fun part is, all right, I pull them all in. Now I got the fire. It's just, love that. That's
Yep.
honestly, that'll make, okay, I'm excited now. This one's an OG, one of like the first gods I ever really got acquainted with back when I started playing Vamana.
Yeah, Vamana, we remember
Vamana.
what Vamana was like at the beginning of this year, right?
Yeah,
It was a
Tough.
big baby doing a lot of stomping.
Big stompy baby.
Stompa.
Yeah.
Colossal Fury in particular needed to get pretty heavily nerfed before people were willing to move off of it, but we feel like there's been enough time, the meta has shifted enough, and it's clear that we over-nerfed him a little bit in those instances, so his
Yeah, 'cause he
passive,
sucks.
Sleeping Giant, we're increasing the attack speed conversion from 10% to 15%. This is the amount of attack speed he gets for protections that he builds,
Okay.
particularly physical protections. And then Colossal Fury, that ultimate, the base duration is increasing from 4 seconds up to 5 seconds.
Okay.
And he's also getting a little bit more max duration as well.
Okay.
This ability just felt like it was canceling too early the vast majority of the time.
Okay.
Now you'll be able to be big baby mode.
Those
for
are
a little
both
bit
relevant
longer.
buffs
we
for Vamana for sure.
definitely, we're a little harsh on him in the first
Yes.
time. There was a lot of feedback that it was a little oppressive at the time. So we're kind of going in a nice in-between, and we're hoping that this sticks.
Meet in the middle a little bit. Awesome. Hey, I love that because that ult is really fun. So next up, and it has to be said this way, it's just a rule. Bake Kujira.
The whale.
The whale.
Yeah, there's been a
We
lot
love
of
the
talk.
whale.
Think he might get nerfed, guys.
This is not a whale buff. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah.
We've heard the feedback. He's a little bit strong.
He is pretty strong.
We're decreasing the protection
Yep.
conversion that he gets by 5%.
Okay.
So
Apparently that was something they wanted, I guess.
it was by far the most community suggested change. We agree that he was overperforming a little bit.
He's a
now
little
building
strong.
that defense, he'll deal a little bit less damage on the back end. We still think that his strong lane identity is important to maintain
Yeah,
his
of course.
strong lane identity. And he's team fighting well, but it is vulnerable, and it's one of those gods that we think should be more vulnerable as people learn how to space against
was
him properly,
excellent.
all things
Yeah.
like that.
That
Especially
was
when
so
he gets into the
good.
ranked seed, it's
Yes.
going to be very different.
It's going to be very
He just was going whale mode a little too hard.
He was going whale mode.
A man walked that one. Wrong
Awesome.
neighborhood,
Well,
and then walked right
Guys,
back.
we did it. We talked about year 11. We talked about Smite too. Were y'all excited about what you heard? Yeah? Okay. That's good. I like that.
Excellent.
I'm going to go home and I guess
They're
not speak, 'cause I'm
laughing
gonna be thinking about this for the
backstage.
rest of
We
my
told
life.
them the bathroom was taking
it's
a
super exciting.
left.
We're right on the cusp of what is it? I mean, year 11 for a game is a dream come true for a lot of the people at the studio. And it's because of y'all. It's because we're able to come out here and host these events because of y'all. We're working on Smite 2 because of y'all. So we're excited to keep bringing you into the fold in year 11, to keep making the game the best thing it can be for you, to bring y'all into Smite 2 when we start kicking that open so that y'all can help shape this into the best version of the game that it could
Give
possibly
me Smite
be.
2. Gimme.
And excited to keep doing stuff like this for
Gimme!
y'all in the future. So first up, let's give Aggro and Lermy a round of applause for being out here and doing all this hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going learning. Woo!
Yeah, they deserve that and so much more. There's about, 100 people, every person at the company. If you see somebody walking around with a staff shirt and you feel like, to say thank you. There's people that have been working so hard to get this done, to make this a reality and to make this one of the biggest SWCs ever, with the games you're about to see a little later today, working into the World Championship finals tomorrow, and everything going on. It's been the culmination of a lot of manpower, but even more love for this community, for this game, and for bringing SWC together. So I could probably spend the next 45 minutes gushing over everybody that I work with, but I'm not gonna do that to y'all. We got some Smite to watch.
Smite!
So thank y'all all for letting me come up here and do this update show on stage, and do it, I don't know, for like 2 years now for everybody. And I look forward to seeing some more Smite later and some Smite 2, right?
Woo!
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tyrannus.
All right. Well,
Thank you for building
we got
Smite
the
2.
show
Yes,
back
I did it
tomorrow,
personally
but we're
by
gonna go to a
hand.
break right now. So thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
It's actually built with Lincoln logs, fun fact.
Where would I be when the sun goes down and you ain't around with me? Where would I be when the lights go out and your love ain't surrounding me?
So, as far as the Season 11 stuff is concerned, all the relics seem pretty OP. Looks like there's a bunch of god changes and other item changes that we're going to have to get into. We're going to do a full patch notes review tomorrow morning before World starts. That'll give us something to go over and to do. So we can get into all the smaller changes. Giant overarching lifesteal